Coming up on Now You Made It Awkward podcast.
You know, definitely. I was like, y'all remind me of, even Jessica said, it's like, you remind me of my mom. It's just funny. It would be funny to get those two groups together because they both have dogs and cats and animals and stuff like that, and they have similar tastes. Sorry.
Yep.
But he still goes to work every day at the shitty fucking shoe store to pay the fucking bills, deal with his wife who doesn't do fuck all, his slutty ass daughter, and his retard of a son, you know, and then his nice dog. Why did you look at Chad?
She hired our friend to provide a white horse, big giant white,
She likes riding big white things.
Yep. Big white giant horse, and she rode into a club on it.
Unfortunately, nobody was listening to anything they said.
Ooh, boobies.
What was that again?
What was this? What were they doing? That's what I always find funny about The Simpsons. For the most part, they don't.
No one ages.
They don't age until they do a future episode.
Until you get into the comic book Simpson porn, then they age a lot. I think I shared too much.
Look,
Okay.
there's a lot of things in my life I would rule 34, but not The Simpsons, I think. Maybe when I was 12. I don't even want to fucking know. No. Mm-mm. Nope.
Cowabunga.
Okay.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Either way.
We can't do it on a Tuesday.
Yeah, pizza would be a good thing to do. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to do at some point because we rarely do food taste tests. But I mentioned it a long time ago doing a blind pizza comparison.
Okay.
So we get 6 cheese pizzas from different places. We don't know which one's which, and we have to guess.
No pineapple?
No pineapple.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Y'all are fucking dumb.
It's great.
Yes, it is.
No, pineapple's disgusting.
Just
It does
because you're
not
an
belong.
uncultured swine
I worked
who
at
follows the crowd.
No, I worked at a pizza
I
place.
bet you hate Nickelback, too.
I love Nickelback. Are you kidding me? Oh, Nickelback's fucking awesome. No, having worked at a pizza place for 6 fucking years, there are 2 pizzas I hated more than anything. One of them was a Hawaiian or anything with pineapple on it. The other one was anything that was like olive lovers, because we had a few of them, especially at Papa John's.
Too.
Like, well, my aversion to olives is because I spilled an entire can of fucking olives on myself.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, when you go around smelling like black olives
Yeah.
all night long, you'd kind of never want
You
to.
don't
Kind of like my aversion to 90 weight oil. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Spilled a
Well, it was that.
all over.
Well, I told you that happened to me too.
Yeah.
But it was gear oil, fresh gear oil.
Oh, my God. I hate gear oil. It's gross.
Yeah, for some reason, this guy came in to get his damn near brand new F-350 4x4 serviced at Walmart instead of taking it to the fucking dealership like anybody would. I think it had 6,000 miles on it. And he wanted me to check the rear diff. I'm like, it's brand new. Why the fuck would I check the rear diff? So I popped the inspection hole and it just fucking pours.
It might have been overfilled.
Very. Because it should never be over past the
He probably did that.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it was brand new, so I don't know.
Yeah, he probably did that.
Well, fuck him.
Yeah. Or was a Monday car.
I don't know. Maybe they purposely overfill them on the first go. I don't know. I don't work at a factory.
No, me either.
I hated that when working on race cars.
Yeah.
But overfill them?
Yeah. No, we were just working on them.
No.
Changing the gears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Mm-hmm. Especially after however many miles on the fucking track or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
then
how
so it
many
gets all
different times you
gummed
got to pull it apart and reshim everything?
Yes,
for humming
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you got to love those quick changes, but they don't work in everything.
Yeah. Of course, you're not allowed to do that depending on class.
True.
Weld
true.
it out and go.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Just weld them up. Rye. So, problem drinking too much rye. you
Poor
start getting
man's
fat.
posi track.
Yes.
Oh, the Suburban has it now. That's awesome.
Yeah, you welded up the fucking rear.
No, had a proper posi track put in.
Oh, okay.
Spider gears or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
Nice.
Hooks up toes better.
Yeah.
And
Hooks up the toes better?
And
That's what I heard.
but now at that 6.0, I can't wait to tow with that thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get rolling here because we need to have an update to a story we did last week with Gene Hackman's
Yes.
death. So you brought it up that we ended up having an update to the story as to the cause of death for Gene and his wife. It was found out eventually by the coroner and everything else like that. Gene basically had a heart attack because he already had a pacemaker put in, and apparently, I think we reported last time it was either a week or 10 days prior to them discovering them. He registered an interference with the an event on the pacemaker, because a lot of those are remote monitored now. Like you don't even have to have it hooked up to your phone. It basically just transmit to your cell phone basically and reports on you.
Before that, his wife passed away.
Well, I don't know about before.
I think everything I've read, it's been before.
Yeah. Well, that's an estimate still.
Because she had a hantavirus.
She had a hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a severe respiratory illness caused by viruses that are transmitted to humans through contact with infected rodents.
And logic would point to Gene Hackman having Alzheimer's and some dementia. With her gone, he may have just not been able to care for himself, not get water, not get food. He might have freaked the hell out because he was alone.
Yeah.
And that might have instigated the heart attack.
At least from what the article I've got pulled up from the Independent, it does not state who died first. It just says they died.
Okay, I've found two others that stated she died first.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Days before he did.
Okay, because I'm saying at least this one didn't, but it said the last time they saw her was on the 11th of February, and it wasn't until the 26th when they were discovered, basically. Yeah. But like you said, with his dementia, not dementia, Alzheimer's. Sorry, I know they're similar enough, but. Alzheimer's, he basically might have just been out of it, may not even known she was dead. May have just been walking around the house looking for her.
And with no one there to guide him to, hey, go to the bathroom. Hey, drink something. Hey,
that's what I think is weird. No one else would actually be there to, I mean, the age and everything that's been going on with him. So why would anybody else be looking at him?
Most of his career, he was notoriously reclusive. He liked his privacy.
He stayed out of the public eye.
He stayed out of the public eye. He was a great actor, played a lot of great roles, but other than that, he didn't want to be involved. He wanted to live his life on his own terms.
Well, I can understand that, but when you get to that
age, point, so seemingly everybody just basically assumes that because she was like 30 years his younger, that she was his caretaker.
Would have been around.
Yeah, and she was basically. She was around. Unfortunately,
she was.
She was in.
She was close.
Yeah, so. I think we said that she died in the bathroom, but I don't think so. So in theory, she probably died from whatever happened to her due to the hantavirus. It's a respiratory illness, so she probably clogged up and couldn't breathe and then passed out and died. They still don't know what killed the dog, but the dog had been to the vet for some type of procedure on the 9th.
And
they don't know.
Did they find it in a kennel? Or
it was in a kennel.
Yeah.
Oh,
the dog was in a kennel with
without
her.
water for 3 days.
Yeah. Well, assuming it didn't have like a big ass bottle.
Oh, still.
Yeah, I mean, by the time they found him, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But the like you said before, the other dogs would have had more access to at least water. You know, one was in a bathroom, one was elsewhere, but they had access, I think, through a doggy door. So, but the one being locked up for its own good makes sense why the dog was separate. But and maybe she was in there trying to take care of the dog. She died in the same room as the dog.
Just a sad series of events overall.
Yeah, very, very sad. And then an update on Michelle Trachtenberg's death. Basically, the family said we don't want an autopsy, so basically they don't know exactly why she died. Everybody just had to go with the story of liver failure. So, I mean, that's sad we don't know, but I mean, that's the family's rights to determine.
Right.
So if they said nope, and it's like, okay. I mean, it sucks, but okay. You know, we do forget that celebrities are just fucking people. You know, they have the same rights as everyone else, even though they're used to living in the limelight all the time. You know, we don't have that problem here.
No.
We ain't famous for shit. Someday.
No. Infamous, maybe, but not
famous. I mean, I've only been spotted twice in the wild for my internet famery.
And it was weird.
Well, one of them was Louis. And so that ended up...
Does that actually count?
That did count because we didn't know each other.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Yeah, we didn't know each other. He knew who I was from seeing me either on my review stuff or in Bobby's Zoom chats. So he'd seen my face and knew who I was, but he also knew my real name and my internet name, which most people don't always.
Who are you? Go away, large hippie.
Yeah, exactly. Large hippie friend. That's what it is. I'm just gonna call Louis my large hippie friend from now on. Well, I have my little hippie mother-in-laws, so I have those. So there's that. All right. So, but yeah, that's my mother's-in-law. They're definitely hippies. Their house has been de-hippified, but there's still lots and lots of hippiness going on there. Yeah. You've never met them. You don't know. They're very much lesbian hippies.
Ah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes. No, I wasn't hiding that they fucking are lesbians.
They lippies or what?
Beat me to it.
Inappropriate, Chad. But no, but Rhonda and Candida definitely remind me of them. You know, definitely. I was like, y'all remind me of, and even Jessica said, it's like, you remind me of my mom. Which is funny. It would be funny to get those two groups together, because they both have dogs and cats and animals and stuff like that, and they have similar tastes.
Sorry.
Yep.
I tried to say it straight faced, and you broke anyways.
I'm sorry.
Well, we at the house we got to talking about Rhonda and Candida, and Al went, hell, they like the same. My father-in-law, he said they like the same things we do.
Yep. Very much.
Hearing that from Al was great.
Fucking A. All right. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 135. I am Shoky. You can follow me and all the Shoky related links in the description down below. That'd be great if you can do that. That'd be cool. But more importantly, I want you to like and subscribe to this channel here. We gained a couple extra subscribers since I was on Dante's show. So I think...
I saw 114.
Yep. So 117.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Yeah, so
going up.
we gained 3 since the last...
Since Friday.
No, since the last episode, not since Friday. Yeah, so we're up to 117. Also, shout out to Dante. I was on the latest episode of So You Like Horror, talking about the Pope's Exorcist.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun with that. So you want to go subscribe to that. He doesn't have a YouTube, really, but he's got all the audio platforms over there. But, of course, if you want to see the full uncut video version of this podcast, you can do so at the Shoky Reviews Patreon. Link is down below. For as little as $5 a month, you can help support this ridiculous show and everything we do. And we did record a new video before we got started today that will be on Patreon only, so if you guys want to see that. Plus we do have we're going to start doing more behind the scenes footage whenever we do taste test videos and stuff like that, almost like mini vlogs attached to it. So if you guys are remotely interested in that, the latest one is up. I do have to finish editing this week's taste test video with the vodka comparisons.
There you go.
Because that needs to go up on Thursday. I have the promo ready to go for the full episode on Wednesday, and I'm going to put up the dice episode, the first me opening the dice and showing it off on Tuesday. So there'll be almost a full week's worth of content on the main channel today.
Getting busy.
Very much so. I'm trying to get a lot of shit done before I go on my trip. Because, you know.
You be tripping, yeah.
There's got to get on a fucking airplane. Either way. And of course, with us.
We'll be praying for you.
Yeah. With us, not fresh off a boat this week, is, of course, the Heffy.
Hey, I'm not grumpy today.
Nope, he's definitely not grumpy. But you can follow him.
You got
At Grounded and Grumpy,
Yeah, you can find him at Grounded and Grumpy on the old Instagrams. And over there in the third chair is Chado,
How's it going?
proprietor of C4 Graphics, hopefully with a new location coming up soon.
Yes, we'll see how that goes.
Yes, the negotiations were happening slightly earlier, so we're very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Getting that expansion going out there. Be cool. I'm going to bring my car over and get it wrapped.
Please.
I don't know what I'm going to get it wrapped with, but I'll get it wrapped. Just get a big Naimiya logo on the hood. That'd be funny. And, of course, you can contact the show somewhere.
Yeah, you can hit us up at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail at gmail.com. Or you can head over to our Facebook page, Now You Made It Awkward Podcast. You can send us messages. You can also send us voice messages, as our buddy Sean does.
Indeed. And we do have a Sean message coming up here in a second. But I do want to give a shout out to Basil Hayden Whiskey for trying their malted rye today.
Really good.
That was nice.
And it is fucking solid. You guys are having the Night Sprite, but
Yep. Night Sprite,
Night
which is
Sprite.
pour Osos vodka into liquid death lime with a little bit of lemon.
with
Nice.
with a squidge of lemon for flavors.
It's nice.
Yes. And refreshing. Night Sprite.
Night Sprite.
I like that. We need to get Night Sprite pint glasses.
Yes, please.
That would be good. That'd be good. We were supposed to have some custom drink glasses, but
From the one that won't respond?
yeah, the one who never answers messages. I'm like this close to buying a fucking laser engraver.
Don't see if I had a room where I could keep that thing out of the way and out of the dust and everything. I already have a CNC lathe.
Yeah.
And I want a 3D printer. I want a laser engraver.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the red. It's called a Red Forge, and it's a great system.
I want the Glow Forge, personally. But there's a couple other ones.
Yeah.
But that and an X-Carve. If you have a Glow Forge and an X-Carve, you can basically make fucking almost anything.
Yes.
And let's get like some type of 3D printer. You know, basically you can make anything with that setup.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go see what Sean has for us today. I have no idea. You know how he is. Oh, before we get going, somber news. Jessica lost another aunt this past weekend.
Oh,
so the sister of the one that just passed away, they just did the thing for. Turns out she had late stage leukemia and they didn't know.
Uh-oh.
So she goes in and basically she had, they found out, on Saturday, and she passed this Friday. So she lasted, roughly 5 or 6 days. They put her on hospice because there was no fucking point. And Jessica got off work early on Friday and was only, like, no joke, 5 minutes from where she was. So, like, kind of worked out.
Yeah, get over there.
Because she didn't get a chance to say goodbye to Aunt Betty, but Aunt Virginia, she did get to. She was not really lucid. A lot of basically just in-stage kind of stuff, you know. A lot of groaning. She could say no really loudly, so she could definitely disagree with things happening with her. So, unfortunate, you know, Aunt Virginia is now gone. That was the last of her mother's sisters. So basically, that generation, I think, is gone. So, all right. So, R.I.P. Aunt Virginia. Now we'll get to Sean's message. If it's about Aunt Virginia dying, it's going to be weird. Because Sean somehow always has a message, as long as he's also not trying to get us to fuck, marry, kill each other.
Question for the pod. Hey, do you guys have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, I love me a good conspiracy theory, dude. And I especially love it when they're proven right. Like,
it's not a theory
I
anymore.
told you. Anyways, do you have a favorite one? It could be an unknown, or it could be a mainstream one like the moon landing, JFK, the Titanic, all that shit. Those are good too. But if you have a favorite conspiracy theory, let's hear it.
That's a good question. Though
Like
I wish he would include his own.
It sounds like he was in his new truck.
Not in the new truck. New truck's not driving. He's in his regular truck.
Either that or a tumble dryer.
Yeah, he's definitely in a tumble dryer. By the way, it's getting harder and harder to clean up his fucking audio. I do my best, but even the AI voice.
Think he's doing it on purpose?
No, he's just doing it when he has time. I didn't even remind him today. He just happened to send it. Yeah, he was on his way out to lunch. I'm looking at the time he sent it, so because he goes to lunch at 1. Shit. It doesn't have to be mainstream, but do y'all have any off the top of your head?
Not really. I don't follow him, man. I just if it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, I don't pay attention.
I mean, the world is full of conspiracies. I mean, obviously the JFK one, the more I've heard about it, like I didn't know that between the autopsy in Dallas to where his body was buried, his brain went missing. I didn't know that, but that apparently happened. So, I mean, I think in having gone to Dallas to where he was shot outside the repository and stuff like that, and listening to Ian Carroll talk with Joe Rogan about it, which is probably why he's bringing this up, because Ian Carroll's been he's like one of the biggest modern conspiracy guys. But he goes into it with people who have receipts, not just wild ideas. Mm-hmm. You know, if there are receipts to follow, there are stories, there are people to be interviewed. You know, he said like there's no way that there was a single shooter to kill JFK the way he did, especially considering that his head didn't move in a direction that made any sense. And the fact that his face was blown out because the bullet came from behind, but he was also shot in the neck and the chest. There's no way that Oswald got off 3 shots that fast and managed, to do that from the one direction, especially when you have an entry wound in the neck that they later called a tracheotomy. Yeah. It's like, you're saying that the president had a trach and nobody mentioned it, and he just happened to have a massive wound on his back otherwise? So, yeah, he had to have been shot from at least 2 different people, possibly 3, and that the CIA did it for obvious reasons,
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't have the time to give a lot of conspiracy theories a lot of credence just because I'm busier doing other shit.
You should. It's fun.
Yeah.
And at this point, a conspiracy theory is literally only 6 weeks from being proven true in modern day.
Right.
It's like everything they previously said were bad is like now it's like no, it's just.
Well, what did make me laugh is over the past 4 or 5 years, all the Democrats claiming that Trump had all these conspiracy theories that turned out just to be spoilers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I think the best modern conspiracy theory is that Trump is a Russian asset. Sorry, a Soviet asset.
Yeah, and a fascist. Yeah.
Yeah. He is. Oh, he's so best fascist ever.
Did you see the feminists in Paris marching?
I didn't understand what was going on there at all.
All I saw was a bunch of topless chicks mad at something.
Yeah, and I did not. At no point did I understand what they were actually trying to convey.
And I embarrassingly watched that entirely too many times.
You watched it.
You didn't know what was going on. Boobies.
I was like, why are these naked ladies mad?
Well, they've done a lot of these naked or topless protests.
The one chick that had right here like a Hitler mustache.
Well, they had a swastika on their chest.
Yeah.
It was like, and they're painted up with like red paint.
Are they like protesting America?
I don't know what they were protesting. It made no sense.
Well, I don't speak French.
I don't either. It's like, I don't like, they said like it was pro-feminist.
They're just mad.
But I don't know what they were protesting against. Obviously, it's like, why would you deck yourself out in Nazi memorabilia but claim to be anti-fascist? That didn't make any sense. It was like, so that's why I had no clue. I didn't pay that much attention to it other than watching the video.
I mean,
2 or 3 times.
Other than the angry, great parade.
Yeah, very small. Great parade. I mean, there's a lot of insane shit going on right now. Like people attacking Teslas that are parked to fight, against,
just because they're mad at somebody.
They're mad at Elon Musk, so they're destroying Teslas or threatening
it's so
to bomb
funny how
showrooms.
quickly public opinion turns when people actually start doing the work that needs to be done.
Well, what doesn't even make sense is that up until last year during the Trump assassination times, everyone loved Elon Musk.
Well, everyone loved Trump until he ran for office.
Yeah, there's massive things. Everyone loved Trump until he was the president.
They loved him. They loved his money. They loved his support.
Yeah, and then a lot of people still. I actually had to defriend someone this weekend because they basically had gone so far off the deep end.
I've had to mute or unfollow.
And I flat out unfriended because one, we haven't seen each other in years. Like so, it's and
a lot of it, like this individual, no job, living on disability with.
You've mentioned this person before,
and she's just angry for no reason. Go get a job.
Angry at life and picking a direction.
Find something else to do other than be angry. I mean, I love her to death. She's been a good friend for years, but stop being so fucking angry.
Yeah, it's like, and that's one thing I don't understand is like people are now calling Trump like the Nazi Cheeto guy. It's like, first of all, he's not that orange. It's like, but I've seen news coverage, seen nudes coverage too, apparently on the news. Where like they've clearly oranged up the images of him, like crank the saturation. I mean, yeah, he does,
and he's not Nazi. If he was Nazi, he'd be shutting down the press and controlling everything.
And they're saying that he is because certain stories aren't getting out there. It's like, well, because they're reporting on other things. It's like, no, the Biden administration shut people down. You weren't allowed to talk about things. You weren't allowed to mention anything about COVID.
No, the Biden administration handed the entire news media narrative and said, follow this.
Literally.
They did word for word.
And they did it word for word. And even very recently, they did it with this anti-Trump sentiment that they gave out to like 21 different people, either news people or people in Congress. And they all had the exact same script. There's a singular video. It starts out with 1, then 2, then 3, then 10, then all of them, all saying the same exact thing. As like
that's one of the things the Democratic Party is best at, is sticking together and
marching in lockstep
and sticking to a narrative. They are great at that,
even if it
because
makes zero
that's
sense.
About the only strength they have.
Yeah, they're irrational rationality. Basically, they can rationalize anything as long as everyone's being irrational with them.
Yes.
And they need
as long as it meets their narrative.
Yeah, meets the narrative, and that they can convince enough people. And that's the thing. Look, and I've said it repeatedly, is like Trump is not a good guy, but he's the best option we currently have. And not only that, he's out for revenge on the people who fucked him over the first time and then tried to kill him this time.
Well, he's political Batman at this point.
He is
not the president we need, but he's the president we deserve.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it right now. He is basically doing that. And like, I know people are mad about, like, people are turning on Pam Bondi and Kash Patel because they haven't released the Epstein files, even though they said they have them now. But before they had only a couple hundred.
Well, they're
files.
busy. They're cleaning house.
Yeah. Well, they only had a couple hundred files to go through the first time they said they got the Epstein files. So they had to redact all the victim information and then anything that would be classified under like important government stuff. So once they did that, they're like, okay, cool. Here's what we've got right now, but we know for a fact the Southern District of New York is hindering us. We're going to go down there tomorrow, get everything we've got, and fire the guy who basically said this shit. And then, like, we will drop the files as soon as we get them out. But now they have several thousand pages to go through to do the exact same type of redacting and hiding, you know, because they don't want to put the victims out there, though, unless they say they can, that kind of stuff. So I think we will eventually see more of the Epstein stuff. But I think people, more than anything, they don't necessarily want to read it themselves. They want to see arrests being made. You know, and I think it will happen eventually, just not as fast as they said. They said, day one, you said it would happen day one. It's like, well, day one, we were lied to. We had to figure out we were lied to.
Right.
And then day 7, we had to be like, well, fuck, now we got so much more work to do, and we just fired half of everybody. And now they're mocking people for like being like, well, you fired a whole bunch of people and had to hire them back. It's like, yeah, that was the point. We had to clean house, and now we'll rehire the people who are actually willing to do the job or doing the job properly. In whatever format that might be. I mean, the fact they're going after the IRS, they're going after the Fed, they're doing everything. And they're finding so much fucking money that has been tucked away and being used for other things or being scammed. Social Security, that people are still saying that Trump was lying about the stuff they found in the Social Security department. It's like, there's one person that's supposedly between the age of 250 and 300 that has signed up for some type of Social Security benefits. Doesn't mean they're getting a check. But it means that they're on the rolls, older than our fucking country, somehow.
It's Dracula.
Yeah. So Dracula is on the take. So they got to figure that out. And then everybody's still up in arms about Zelensky and everything else like that. It's just like, and then once again, he said sorry to Trump, and then said, never mind. And then he said, I'm going to go with Europe. And he said, nope, wait, never mind. Now Europe's like, well, fuck it. We'll take it. It's all a fucking giant mess. Like, if there's anything that it's a conspiracy, it's the deep state at this point. Is that the deep state is real, and it is fucking, as we're watching it day to day, trying to stop Trump from just being president. You know? So they did the whole first round, then they tried to kill him, whoever they might be, technically speaking. Because the first Trump assassin, talk about the JFK problems. We don't know fuck all about that kid who shot Trump. We know nothing. We know his name. We know where he went to school. He apparently had no social media presence, didn't have anything, and somehow this kid, working on his own, snuck into a venue.
And he's conveniently not around to answer for
and we did kill him, and then very conveniently cremated him without the body being examined.
Right.
It's like, that's odd, without notifying anyone that it was happening, you know? And everything that happened around that, how the hell the Secret Service, you know, lacked the imagination to set up protections in the rooftop and everything. Is like, anyone would have fucking told you to do that. Mm-hmm. So I think that's our biggest modern day conspiracy currently, answering Sean's question. Like, who the fuck actually allowed that to happen and who set it up?
Yeah.
You know? And we damn well better find out. So either way, that was a pretty decent question from Sean, but you know, the problem is the list is incredibly long. So let's go through the Alex Jones checklist. It's like, which ones haven't been proven right yet?
Right.
Did you have something pop up?
No.
Okay.
It's my dad.
How's dad?
Concerned about payroll.
Oh, that'd be a thing to be concerned about.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's all good. So did anything subside after your trip? Or did you have any other further brown explosions after?
Well, it's been I've been on that metformin.
Yeah.
And it's like every other day I have nice little episodes.
Yeah, it does do that. It 100% does that. But like at the dosage you're taking, maybe it's just your body's not used to it.
Exactly. I've only been on it a couple weeks.
Yeah, because when I was getting backed up there a couple months ago, I borrowed some of Jessica's to help because laxatives weren't doing it. Laxatives are just.
But for the most part, I've been tracking my glucose levels. I've been staying down-ish. You know, usually a couple hours after I eat, I'm in the good zone.
Yeah, of course.
But then 12 hours later, I'm up higher.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible, but
your body's processing something else.
I don't eat anything else after dinner.
I don't know.
I have one meal a day.
Look, I'm not a biologist. I just play one on TV. So speaking of things on TV, why don't we just go ahead and do our
jump right into it.
Jump right into it, because we'll talk about our weeks later.
Yep.
So guys, we're doing a top 5 today. We're doing top 5 TV dads, and this is basically if it's a dad on TV, it counts. You know, as long as it's a dad of someone, I guess it matters. So if you're unfamiliar with our top 5s, basically, if we have any honorable mentions, we'll do that first. We're gonna go round robin, each number. So we'll start at that and work our way up to our top TV dad. Mm-hmm. Now this can be just favorites, or if you have it for some reason you have a metric of it, or if you have a specific opinion of. Wait. Oops, I double tapped it. So if you have a specific opinion or thought on said dad, by all means express. So we're not just reading off a list.
All right.
Because that gets boring. So I will go first. And now I have a problem between my honorable mention and my top or my number 5.
Yeah.
They could easily be interchangeable depending on the day. So my honorable mention will be Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
Okay.
So great dad. One of like the kind of, at least from our childhood, leading black dads on TV for basically an all-black show. Grew up with Family Matters, of course. You know, he even bothered to help try to father Urkel because his own parents didn't like him, you know. Which
you never see Urkel's parents.
No. And then they moved without him and basically left him behind at some point later on. He basically was Sheldonized at one point. Yeah. So I'll go with Carl Winslow. I think he was pretty good. I think the show just lasted a little too long.
It did. Honorable mention for me was Bob Saget.
So
Danny Tanner.
Okay.
That was a good dad, but wasn't great. He didn't do a lot of standing up. He was more the gentle parent kind.
He was in a house of multitude of dads.
Yeah.
You know, so that's not bad. Chad, what you got? Do you have an honorable mention? Or somebody you don't have on the list, but you wish was on the list?
I mean, I have to go like
what?
Like Peter Griffin?
No. No.
Yeah. Who's not quite good enough at the top?
I have to go with Dan Tanner. That was actually pretty good right there.
Yeah. And he was also a clean freak too.
Yes,
that was his whole thing, his OCD. All right. So let's get around to number 5. So my number 5, and like I said, these two would have been interchangeable. Uncle Phil.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I got Uncle Phil and Carl Winslow.
Right there.
Any given day, they could be swapped out because they're both really good dads. They stood up for their kids, did parent when it was necessary. They weren't just horsing around, and even taking in his troubled nephew to take care of and raise him.
Yeah.
And then also the fact if you had that whole episode where Will's dad tries to come back into his life,
that was a rough one,
and then leaves him behind, and then Phil's still basically dadding the whole time there. So I mean, like that's
and Will's sitting there just going, "What's wrong with me?
Why doesn't he want me?
Yeah, why doesn't he want me?"
That's a fucking heartbreaking moment.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what I said. It's like my 5 and 6 they're effectively a tie, but at any given point, any given episode, you can swap it. But do you remember the blooper because they're shot on similar or next door to each other, basically? At the tail end of an episode, Urkel was supposed to come in and talk to Carl. And then when they open the door, Uncle Phil comes through as the character. And Reginald Vell Johnson completely loses his shit. One. All right. What do you got for 5, Heffy?
5 is Carl Winslow.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So
Family Matters.
Yep, Family Matters.
That he stood up for his kids. He was a solid dad. He doled out punishment when it was needed, and at times he was super fatherly toward Urkel.
Yeah, and he was a kid, or he was a cop.
Yeah, and he was a cop, and Urkel basically became one of his kids.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. Actually, eventually became his son-in-law.
Yeah,
because he did marry Laura.
Oh.
Yep. Chad?
Actually, that's my number 5, exactly. Okay. That is it right there.
So it's so funny that all of us have Carl Winslow at the bottom of the list. So it's like you're gonna.
He's a good dad, but he wasn't over the top.
Yeah, he's a solid dad.
Yes.
Yeah. And not to mention, they did have to deal with I think at some point, I know Harriet got shot, but I don't remember when. And then like when Eddie decides to become a cop, Carl has to balance between being his captain and being his dad in the same household.
Well, that whole episode where Eddie experienced a little
the racist cop
and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he had to basically like go in and talk to the guy and rough him up a little bit. And then they had the gun buyback episode too after Urkel got shot.
Stupid.
Urkel got shot. That's what happened.
Urkel got shot.
He got shot.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think got shot in the hip or something. Some kid brought a gun to school. Urkel got shot, I believe.
Ow.
And then and so they had a gun buyback program at their school. So that's when they were trying to pull all the guns off the streets back then. And that's around about the same time that they did the
those don't work because then you have assholes like me sit up just down the road going, "I'll buy your guns."
Well, it wasn't a buyback. It was a voluntary surrender, but they were doing it at the school. And I remember this one like tough looking white dude walks up and throws his like 38 in the
a little $100 38 throwdown.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so my list went to sleep. Come back here. All right, so my number 4 is Hank Hill.
Oh, damn!
So
I missed that one entirely.
Yeah.
So I was running through the gamut of cartoon dads, and most of them are shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're assholes and they're selfish pieces of shit, but they can be good dads occasionally. Hank was always a good fucking dad.
Yeah.
Even if Bobby didn't understand what it is, what he was doing.
And even if he didn't understand what Bobby was doing.
Never understood. 6 a.m. and that boy already ain't all right. Ain't right. But he also took in his troubled niece with Luann.
Best line of the whole show. Bobby asked, "What do we do if someone asks for a steak well done?" He said, "We firmly yet politely ask them to leave."
Yep. Fucking Hank Hill's classic, and I follow this guy on Instagram who's does like a perfect Hank Hill impression. He's fucking great. All right, what you got for 4?
4 is Gomez Adams.
I almost
solid
John
dad.
That was trying to
loved the hell out of his wife, kept things going,
loved his kids,
loved his extended family, and just took care of everybody.
Yeah, talk about the John Astin version.
Any of them.
Well, it's from TV.
Yeah,
yeah.
TV, and then extended on the movie.
I guess we're not doing movies.
I know, but still,
that's why it's a TV version.
It was good,
but he's also a super happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought about Gomez. If we did 10, if we had a top 10, he'd be in the top 10.
What you got, Shadow?
I actually have Uncle Phil, James Avery.
Okay.
See? So we both got we got Uncle Phil and Carl down there at the same level basically. But do you agree probably could interchange?
Yes, very much so.
Depending on the episode, because Uncle Phil was kind of out of pocket a lot.
Yes.
He was, but when he wasn't, he was there solid.
Yeah.
When he was running for like district judge or something like that, and he got all up in his shit about it, but then like they got him to come back down. But yeah, there was another one of those episodes too where it was a racist cop situation where Will and Carlton got busted.
Yeah,
and the cop holding them got in and over his head, and he's like, "Do you know who the?" Basically, he big timed him because he's a fucking judge, but the guy was being a racist piece of shit cop to the fucking judge, and he's like. So I was like, whoops. So Uncle Phil was like basically one step legally higher than Carl, you know? So yeah, that's excellent. Excellent. I like how we're all kind of, because we all grew up on these same shows.
Exactly.
Effectively. I'm just waiting for, what's his face? What kind of, I just had Andy
Griffith.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Andy Griffith to be on your list. Because you watch all the old TVs.
No.
So to be very different to you guys, I actually have Danny Tanner at number 3.
Really?
I put him up there because he was a really good dad. He was always there for his girls. He was
too soft.
He's a soft dad, but they're also in San Francisco.
But you got to look at how I was raised. I was raised by a Marine and a peace officer.
Okay.
And way different.
And that's fine.
You fuck up, you don't get talked to, you got hit.
But for a guy who lost his wife and didn't know where to fucking go and had to raise 3 girls on his own, you know, he had eventually.
I was gonna say they have like 3 other dudes that are in that's the
until they moved in, he was on his own. So I mean, it did take literally a village in that fucking house to raise him. You know, his 4 daughters, technically speaking.
Yeah. But
no, I'm talking about their 2 Michelles.
Okay,
I'm making the joke of the 2 Michelles. Oh God, hold on. He deserves sainthood for not killing Kimmy.
Yeah.
Like even more so than because you remember also he dealt with Urkel too for like one episode. When Urkel was meandering through all the other TGIF shows, I think he ended up on Full House.
Oh no,
he ended up on Step by Step. I know that, but I can't remember if he made it to. Don't know if he remembered he made it to Full House. But I mean, I like Danny Tanner. I thought he was good. He was like my first real like big TV dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like because before that, it was the old shows from even way before that. You know, saying Andy Griffith or things like that, or All in the Family, because that's it.
Well, dude, old school TV dad from at least my youth was Howie Mandel on Punky Brewster.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
old school.
yeah.
I forgot about Punky.
And that was how we met.
That's a whole situation too. But yeah, either way, I put Danny Tanner higher than you guys, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a subjective list. Number 3 for you, El Jefo.
For me, number 3 was Philip Banks from Fresh Prince.
Okay, so you put Uncle
We're
Phil
all
way
right
up there.
Yeah.
I thought he was a much more solid dad. He listened better, but at the same time, he laid down the discipline when he had to. I mean, hard. He had to deal with Eddie a lot. Not Eddie, that was Carl.
Yeah.
But he had to deal with Will constantly fucking up, screwing shit up, and his daughter.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a better dad.
He had a lot of upper body strength to constantly be throwing out DJ Jazzy Jeff all the time.
Yes.
What was his name on the show?
Scuzz. I don't know.
I forgot what his
No,
name
it
was.
is. Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
It wasn't
what
Jeff.
No.
But he always came in there because he always hit on Hillary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, let's think about that. He had to deal with his oldest daughter being a fucking moron and, well, not a tramp, but she dressed slutty a little bit and eventually got her head out of her ass. And then Carlton being
Carlton.
whatever the fuck Carlton was. I would argue that he had a much harder time being a dad than Carl.
Because he had Carlton, which was like white guy in sweater.
Yeah. But it was always great when he fucking did his dance.
Yeah.
When he did his fucking dance.
I know you know it. You can do it.
I literally can't.
Oh,
I do not have
bullshit.
Dude, there's a reason I don't dance, and it's because I don't have enough coordination.
The music moves you, but it moves you ugly.
I literally cannot dance, and that's one of the reasons. Okay, so you put Uncle Phil way high. That's good. Hey, at least he was smart enough to upgrade his wife.
Yeah.
Carl took way
bad.
too long.
That's bad.
Carl took way too long, and I wouldn't even argue that that's an upgrade.
Who you got, buddy?
Yeah.
For number 3?
Number 3.
Dope.
You put Homer.
I'm a Homer.
Really?
Damn. Homer is a shit dad.
He is a shit dad.
He's a shit dad, but he had to take up with for all the crap that's been going on.
I mean,
he did choke out Bart a lot, which was awesome.
He did. He's really big on child abuse and neglect.
But he had to work and do everything else for the kids, for the house and everything.
Okay,
He was the only one that did anything.
I'm sure the radiation never helped.
No, it did not.
That one episode where we find out the history of Maggie being born and it makes him look like a fantastic dad. Sure. 99% of the rest of the time, he is a fucking horrible.
Well, doing this for what, over
34 years?
34 years this year.
So.
Yeah, he. I mean, like I thought about putting Homer on there just because I like Homer, but he's definitely on the shit dad list. He's definitely on the shit dad list because I think while he can be a great dad when he finally gets his own head out of his ass, I mean, like the fact that Lisa hasn't plotted to kill him at any given point because he's massively neglectful to her. I mean, he's such a shit dad. His youngest child never learned to talk or age. That's what I always find funny about The Simpsons. For the most part,
no one ages.
They don't age until they do a future episode.
Until you get into the comic book Simpson porn, then they age a lot. I think I shared too much.
Look,
okay.
There's a lot of things in my life I would rule 34, but not The Simpsons, I think. Maybe when I was 12. I don't even want to fucking know. No. Nope.
Cowabunga.
Okay. Nope. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, because I forgot he said Cowabunga too, not just Ninja Turtles. Though there was one time we did see. Hold on. There is one time in history we technically saw Bart's penis. It's the one time only showing of Bart's music video.
Okay.
There was a music video. It came on immediately after the episode that night. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a 2-minute long video. But at one point in the video, Bart is laying out totally naked on the lawn, sunning himself with some sunglasses on. And like very briefly, you see like just a little tiny animated whoop. And I think if you find
another angry thumb.
I think if if you can find it now, I think they put like a bush over it or something. But I remember that because I was like, they literally just showed his, and it was the only time they ever showed it too. I mean, the music video. They said it was going to be a one-time only thing. I was like, why did you do it? Shock factor, I guess. Show an animated little tiny dink, All right, number 2. So number 2, for me, I had to struggle between number 1 and number 2. Very similar to number 5, number 6. So I said because of just the level of dadding, I had to put him in number 2, though he could easily be number 1. Al Bundy.
Yep.
I mean, fucking A. He was like the antithesis of Carl Winslow, basically. The family's completely fucking out of whack, but he still goes to work every day at the shitty fucking shoe store to pay the fucking bills, deal with his wife who doesn't do fuck all, his slutty ass daughter, and his retard of a son, and then his nice dog. Why did you look at Chad?
For?
Chad doesn't work at a shoe store.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Or have those other problems. That was out of pocket, Heffy. Either way, no, Al Bundy was great, but if somebody fucked with his family, he would beat the fuck out of them,
Yep.
And he went.
He did on multiple occasions.
Multiple occasions, he and the family got into fights. Also, he was remarkably anti-feminist.
Yep.
But in a good way, because they even created the no ma'am, situation. Also, he drove a Dodge for over 1 million miles, so I'm on board with that. But either way, I thought he was hilarious and a good dad when it mattered, even though he hated most aspects of his life, or at least outwardly hated. But the man loved a good Ferguson.
Yep.
All right. Number 2.
Same, Al Bundy. Number 2.
Excellent.
Primarily because now we're of similar age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says everything I really fucking want to.
I think he was supposed to be like 36 or 37 in that show, and he looked like he was 50.
50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, I think legit they were that.
I can see myself basically saying the same shit all the time, but I don't because rudeness.
I mean, you did just
Shut up.
you did just rally at fucking Chad for no reason.
I didn't say anything.
No, but you gave a look that was on camera, by the way. But continue. Sorry, I don't want to.
Oh, that's it. He was a solid dad. Beat the shit out of anybody that pissed him off.
Yeah.
Said his mind, had zero filter, which I do appreciate.
And he was super witty.
Yeah.
People thought he was stupid, but he was witty as hell.
Very.
I mean, how
I mean, just the comments he'd say to those women at the shoe store.
the giant
Great.
overweight
Yeah.
women at the shoe store. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Your foot is not going to fit in that.
Yeah. That was like foreign Al Bundy.
Yes.
And, it was just a different show.
And just his mentality. He gets home, he's tired. He just wants to sit on the TV, drink a beer, be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
He had to deal with his freaking neighbor and everything too.
Fucking Marcy.
Yeah.
And different husbands.
And she was the ignorant little twat waffle.
Chicken.
Yeah.
She was chicken.
Chicken.
Why does he keep calling me a chicken? But I loved it when she married Jefferson. He was basically like Al's best friend at that point. And
Which pissed her off even more.
yeah, he would have to side with him or with her, and then he'd turn around and be like,
Right.
yeah. All right, what you got for number 2? You're going to say Al Bundy, aren't you?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Any thoughts that we missed on Al Bundy then?
No, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
How he had to deal with everything.
Yeah. There was the grunge era of family sitcoms.
Yeah.
Like we came off the like really clean, like early 80s stuff. And then like into the 90s, we're like, okay, the really nice TGIF stuff.
Yeah, let's be angry.
Let's be fucking angry.
That Roseanne.
Roseanne was the bridge. And Dan Connor was on a lot of the lists, but I'm like, Dan was an okay dad. But like there was a lot of times he was not good at all. No. And I'm also weighing the Connors show against that too.
The new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing
I've not seen it.
Given the way it went, I'm like,
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, sorry, I'm not giving you credit anymore, Dan. At some point, yes, not now. He was like pre-Al Bundy irreverent, but not quite there. Okay, so for my number 1, and like considering how the rest of the lists have gone, I gotta wonder if you guys also fucking went this way. Red Foreman. I know, he's smiling big. He knows. Red Foreman from That 70s Show. Basically, he taught me if you can't fix it, put a foot in it.
Yep.
It's like if you can get that foot as far up his ass as possible.
Gotta kick your ass.
Yeah. Even though that 90s show is not that good, the fact that he's still as Red Foreman-y as he can possibly be is fantastic.
That's
the sequel series.
Yeah.
It's not great, and I haven't watched the second season of it, but the fact that the character hasn't changed at all, even though he's literally 30 years older.
I enjoyed the hell out of Red Foreman.
Yeah, Red Foreman's fucking fantastic.
And just to abbreviate, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and the fact that they took in Hyde, you know, whenever his dad finally left and his mom, did whatever, took in.
There were some emotional moments.
Brought in Jackie, took care of her, defended, you know, other people against it, and also he had to deal with Bob next.
Oh, Bob,
and the many girlfriends and or wives of Bob that he had to live next door to.
And he essentially took in Donna too.
Yeah. I mean, he was everybody's dad, even though
Yep.
he would often threaten anybody with a foot that needed it.
Well, if you need a foot, you need a foot.
Yeah, because most of them didn't have parents that we even saw, or they were shit parents to begin with.
And Fez, you don't even know Fez had parents.
Fez had parents. They were just in whatever country he came from. Yep. So
we never know what country that is.
we don't know what country he came from. But
where are you from?
But you know he lived in a jungle at some point.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. Somewhere in South America. We don't know. We don't even know what Fez's actual name is. So. All right, so is your number one any different to ours?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Chad coming out here with the differentness. Hold on, I'm going to solo screen
Oh my God.
Here we go. What do you got? Shock us.
Actually, I didn't watch much of the 70s show.
Okay.
I mean, I did a little bit, but I had number one's Tim Allen.
Okay.
So, I mean, Home Improvement and everything else like that.
Tim Taylor.
Yes.
Now, he would be in my top 10.
Yeah.
Just did not make the top 5. Because Red Foreman exists.
Yes.
I think
Well, but that makes more sense now that the listeners, that's like, yes, I probably have to agree to that. But although I did not watch it.
if you did not experience it.
Yeah, that's
Once
the thing,
again, Tim Allen was another soft parenting approach.
Yeah.
Really was soft parenting.
But then sometimes he had to crack the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jill was the military brat, so
Yeah.
she cracked the whip more often than not. But also that was a two income home. He's a TV star doing whatever. So a lot of times their kids got into shit that they weren't around for. They
Yeah.
weren't paying attention to. And then of course Mark gets ignored half the time. He ends up doing the whole goth phase. Randy, nobody knows what the fuck was going on with Randy. And then Brad was just trying not to be a jock at some point or whatever. And then they all lost their way. But he's a good dad. Don't get me wrong. It's just like
Just a busy dad.
he was very busy. Like comparatively, he was very, very busy. I would never have said that at any point he would be neglectful. So I don't think like the only time would be
It
ego
seemed like
for him.
Danny Tanner was at home way too much.
Also a TV star.
Yeah.
But he did
But his stuff was in the mornings.
He did a morning show, so while the kids were at school, he would be home for them in the evenings, usually speaking. But
Who else was home entirely too much?
I mean, Homer is always
Homer's all, well, he's either fucking up the nuclear power plant.
Yeah. But I mean, I can't argue with it. I mean, Tim Taylor's a great dad. I mean, it's your list.
He was a better dad on that than he was in Shifting Gears.
Definitely. Well, we haven't seen him as a dad. We've seen him as a grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't watch Last Man Standing either.
Okay.
The other show. But, you know,
I only got 3 episodes into Shifting Gears. I was like,
I haven't caught the newest one yet. I might give it all the way through the season. See
I
if it
did
gets
start
any-
Reacher season 3.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Have you seen?
Is Reacher a good dad?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a good dad.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I did watch Daredevil though, the first one.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about things now that we're done with the dads, guys. By the way, let us know what your top 5 TV dads are in the comments so we can read them next week. Okay, so we'll just move on to our weeks now that everybody's back from the bathroom. So basically, last week was like a normal week at work, even though I was supposed to be on vacation, but it worked out. You know, made money is what it is. One stupid day, but now tomorrow, I forgot we're already in a new week. Tomorrow, I have to have my yearly ride along, so that's gonna be fun.
I'll have fun.
Yeah, I gotta have my yearly corporate ride along, so to speak. But other than that, I have been continuing rewatching Stargate Atlantis. It's getting into the good stuff finally. But on top of that, things I forgot to talk about. I've been watching Invincible season 3.
Okay.
And it's fucking awesome. Like I mentioned the first little bit of it, but like Invincible season 3 has been really, really fucking solid. Like that we're finally getting into like the meat and potatoes of the bigger storyline, like big bloody fucking fights, and the beginning of the Invincible War, and about to start the Viltrumite War. So if anybody who knows what's going on there, so if you like Vox Machina, you probably would appreciate this. I mean, it's not the same kind of funny humor. It is based off a comic book of the same name. The animation quality is fantastic, even though the whole show is put out by Seth Rogen. I forgive that but ultimately, actually, he plays a character too. But it's a good show. I really like it. They're bringing in more people from like The Walking Dead and other voice actors, so it's kind of a weird reunion. Like Steven Yeun is the titular character, and they just brought in John. What's his name? Why am I drawing a blank? The guy who played Negan.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just showed up. I did not know he was going to play that character. I was like, that's fucking fantastic. That's good writing right there. So highly recommend Invincible if you haven't started it, and of course watch the added Adam Eve series, which is a backstory on her.
Okay.
So she's the main female protagonist, more or less. But it's another one of those shows like The Boys, or even like Game of Thrones, that just because you like a character doesn't mean they can't die. So it's actually pretty fucking cool. Where they're like, nobody has plot armor. It's actually really good. I like that. And then, of course, the big thing to talk about this past week was that Daredevil Born Again came out, the first of the reboot Netflix shows from on Disney Plus now.
Yeah, I watched it. Chad, did you?
Did not. No.
So the first 2 episodes dropped, and then, of course, more are to come. Basically, it had a couple small hiccups from what I saw, and considering they had to reboot the entire thing, meaning they shot it once, it was garbage, and they said, fix this, and then they went and fixed it. So, but you're not up to date on the Marvel stuff, so
No, I'm not.
So you've missed like all the Kingpin updates. So this they're not necessarily saying the old Netflix stuff was 100% canon. It can be, but they're not saying it was.
Yeah, I missed White Tiger and all that.
So White Tiger didn't happen.
Okay.
That's new.
Okay.
But what's the setup for Wilson Fisk? He was in the Hawkeye show, and then he was also in Echo.
Okay.
And those two, they reference what happened in Hawkeye. They did not reference what happened in Echo. So I think they're going to try to just sweep that one under the rug. I could be wrong, because that show was garbage.
Well, I got into it. I started watching it, saw the whole beginning with the kind of the recap at the end of where they left off.
Yeah.
And
we're going to do spoiler warnings.
the second half, I saw nothing but stabs at Trump.
Now, the thing is
that's really the message I got from the second half of the first episode.
But one thing you got to think about is that Wilson Fisk is kind of Trumpian. He's a New York businessman.
I saw them trying to push a message.
But they're not really changing anything from the comics. That's basically how it went. I mean, Wilson Fisk was a gangster. He did all these horrible things. He's well known as controlling the underground. And then he did run for mayor. You know, he did. So he did get into the politics. He was already running politics from behind the scenes and decided to step out front.
Let's get things clean.
Yeah.
Let's make it all above board.
Yeah. So he's staying above board while other people are running the empire behind the scenes.
Well, he's still up to his old stupid tricks.
Well, the character himself has had a change since what happened in Echo.
I mean, when that police chief come in to turn in his resignation, or the commissioner. And he lifted up that paper, and that's same old Wilson Fisk.
Yeah. So he may not be smashing anybody's head in a car door this time.
No, but holy shit.
I mean, spoilers.
Speaking of smashing, the end of the episode, the second episode.
Yeah. So that fucking, so they did get one, they say fuck. It might be the only fuck they say, but they got one in the first episode.
Well, he finally is learning to let go, and it's awful.
Which who?
Matt.
So we've talked about Fisk. We have not talked about Matt Murdock as the thing. No big spoilers for the first episode, but traumatic things happen. He gives up being Daredevil.
I think Froggy dying broke something. It broke his leash.
That would be. I was saying no spoilers.
Oh, you said, damn it.
Either way.
Well, dude. Anyway.
Either way, it's fine. It doesn't matter. By now, everybody else would have heard it, but he didn't.
I'll watch it. It's great.
Yes. So either way, so the first episode. Yes, there is a supposed death. Supposed.
Yeah.
Supposed. I'm going to keep saying it because there's theories. So Matt gives up being Daredevil again. We already did the Born Again story in season 3, where he gave up being Daredevil and then basically got talked back into it. So this time he's gone through that trauma. It's been years since everything else. His biggest enemy is now the mayor of the fucking city. That episode in the diner where they're talking back and forth, basically basically like sizing each other up, like so you're not a criminal anymore, so you're not a superhero anymore.
Just the visual of Murdoch sitting there all small and behind the table, and Fisk arms reaching more like 3/4 away across the table, just being this giant imposing figure.
Well, in the comics, he is.
I mean, he is massive.
Vincent D'Onofrio did a fantastic job playing him from the very beginning.
He's one of the best. Even Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock is also a fantastic.
Yes, he is.
Choice. And initially,
and to think D'Onofrio made his fame from Full Metal Jacket
initially, but he really got big after Men in Black. Yeah. So that's one of those things. But like, this is his biggest role to date. You know, playing Wilson Fisk, and the fact he does it so well, I forgot he has hair.
Well, they couldn't have casted someone better. I mean, it was spot on casting.
I will say I enjoyed Michael Clark Duncan for the movie Kingpin because at least he was sizable. But he wasn't imposing. This guy is scary because you don't know what the fuck he might do.
It's the mental threat.
And like that, when he snapped in season 1, both the first initial like betrayal when he smashes that dude's head in the door, but then later when he snaps when he finds out his assistant is dead.
He choked out a number of people.
He choked out a lot of people. He smashed a lot of people's heads in. I think I'm trying to remember if he killed.
But he is so calm 99.9% of the time.
He's the rabbit in the snowstorm.
Yep, and just quiet-ish. But then when he goes, he what I call lets go.
Yeah,
and
he snaps. Yeah,
it's not really snap. I think it's controlled restraint, and he can, like a lot of sociopaths, he can literally flip a switch and let go.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways. Well, neither of you bothered to watch the Penguin series yet. But that portrayal of the Penguin is actually very similar, even though he's the grungy bottom level Penguin at the beginning of the show. We see Fisk's backstory in Daredevil, and then of course, you know, we get his growth as the actual villain later. But
dude, his upbringing as a kid, that was nuts.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting that his dad ran for office back in the day, and then now he turns around and does it. Even though but you're right, kind of the situation where they are comparing him a little bit to Trump, where the people are so ready for change, they elect a convicted felon. It's like, okay, so in that case,
and then the comparisons continue of everybody that's been there, the entire, the commissioner, all the police, everybody that was existing pre-Fisk, are all against him, all pushing against him.
Well, that's because he is a criminal. Yeah. In this case, it's not because it's Fisk. It's because he's also they know, it's like, these are the good cops pushing against the guy. That's the problem. It's like, we're used to seeing good guy pushing against the bad guys. Now it's actually the other way around. But the other thing is that now that the populace has basically said, we want
then how are the good cops the bad cops we see in the end of episode 2?
Because those are bad cops in relation to the tattoo that guy had on his hand or his wrist.
See, I missed that. I didn't see the significance in that.
The other character who's going to come in this season that has been inspiring cops to take things to a different level has a particular skull ornament.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
now I'm looking forward to the.
Yes, Punisher is coming back.
Thank God.
And apparently there are pro Punisher people out there, and they happen to be cops. So that would be why you've got cops out there basically enacting vigilante justice, even though they're supposed to be upholding the law. But either way, from what I know of the series, it was completely rewritten. They did not include Karen and Foggy at all, period. Yeah. And it was not going to be the story we currently have. They had to reshoot the pilot entirely to be what it was. And then they made a lot of changes throughout it, but they had to basically reshoot almost the entire show and reframe things, which is not unusual for a Disney Plus Marvel show. But the fact that they actually listened to the fans this time, it wasn't just them going with the way the wind was blowing like they did with every other fucking series. Like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to come out first. That was supposed to be the first Disney Plus show. Due to COVID and basically a worldwide pandemic being the story of the show, they said, fuck, we have to fix this. We can't show a pandemic on TV while people are literally going through one. So they changed it.
They could have.
They could have, but that's why the first episode, they're going after a cure for a sickness, and then they introduce the super soldiers. So they follow the super soldier storyline instead of going after whatever secret organization keeping this cure from the world.
Yeah, but if the way they left episode 2 is any indication of what's to come, I'm excited for the whole Daredevil rebirth.
This whole thing with
because it ended, and I stared at the screen for like 30 seconds, and fuck.
Yeah. and the biggest thing is it's a show that we see actual repercussions of violence.
Yeah.
Not just TVMA violence. Like, because you see a lot of it. It's not really big spoilers. It's in the trailer where he breaks a dude's arm and then the blood starts pouring out of the sleeve because he snapped his arm off so much the bones came out. I was like, that's badass. It's like, but the fact that, Matt may have accidentally shown who he is to these cops. He damn near killed one of them. They may not talk. Who knows?
We don't know.
But what he did to the first guy in episode 1, that was already a line he wasn't going to cross, and then he crossed it.
Yeah, gravity.
Yeah, gravity. He definitely uses gravity to his advantage.
Yes.
And to someone else's disadvantage.
Still didn't work.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, right.
That was a 5-story drop. That make no sense.
That's one tough motherfucker.
It truly is. If you watch season 3 of Daredevil and we were introduced to Bullseye, he comes back. Yay. He's actually a really good character.
The amount of knives.
Dude had so many knives.
A lot of knives, and half of them were in Matt.
Matt was a fucking porcupine. But he is wearing body armor.
He was, but still, the whole fight you heard,
Yeah. But dude, like the fact that like he was just mercilessly killing people.
Gotta catch up.
It's a good show. I mean, it is only 2 episodes so far. It's going to drop weekly, which is good. But I'm glad they dropped the pilot, which is where most of the main reshooting came from. So that's good. They had to add that. That entire pilot episode was not part of the series. They shot a completely different pilot, so they had to fix it. So I'm glad they did that. I mean, it's going to be one of the most expensive shows they've ever done for that reason. But considering they wanted to, Feige said, fuck it, we're fixing this, and started firing all the fucking people with the messaging and trying to get things back on order for the movies and the shows. And now that there's a whole Marvel television division now, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think they're ever going to reference She-Hulk, which, some of my former...
Yeah, I missed all of that.
Some of my former co-hosts will be very happy.
But the giant green attorney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not a terrible show, but a lot of people fucking hated it.
So is it actually out completely now?
What?
She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk finished 2 years ago.
I know that, but I'm talking about it's like not gonna be an episode.
Oh, they're done with
season
it.
or
Yeah,
okay.
They're not redoing that one. They even basically fired Tatiana Maslany as the character. I was like, that's kind of shitty. He's like, she did a good job.
Yeah.
It's like, but they have no intention.
It's not easy being green.
No, that show literally proves how not easy it is. But in the Hulk continuity, it really fucked things up. So, but that show also proved that she can bend the fourth wall. So it is what it is. She and Deadpool can see the fourth wall and break it.
Nice.
But she decides to bend reality by talking to the Kevin bot to fix things. Spoilers on a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So basically, her story doesn't go the way she thinks it should, and it makes no sense. And then she's like, okay, hold on. So literally, it goes from the show that we're watching to the Disney Plus menu. She punches out of her show, looks through the menu and says, there it is, and then swings and breaks into the behind-the-scenes show at the studios, goes to Marvel Studios in reality, and says, okay, what the hell? My show doesn't make any sense. And they're all like, you shouldn't be here. And so they're like, I want to talk to the person in charge. Why the hell my show went this way? And she encounters the Kevin bot, which is it's supposed to be Kevin Feige as a robot. And it's literally watching all the movies and shows, and he's manipulating stuff to make it go the way he wants it to go. And then when the fans start turning one way, he changes it even mid-show. So he's basically showing is like, yeah, unfortunately, we listened to the negative backlash.
So he's live producing it, essentially.
In a way, yeah. But she's like, look, she said, look, this is not how people fucking want this stuff. That makes no sense. It's like, it made no sense that all these people ended up here and the rest of my story didn't go the way it's supposed to. And he's like, well, what should I do? And he's like, well, I should have a happy ending for once. This douchebag should just be fucking arrested. There's no reason for him to turn into a Hulk. And then, that Matt guy, he should come back too. So Daredevil did cameo on She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And it was actually really good, even though people fucking hated it. I was like, I mean, good for him though. I mean, he had a lot of fun. He got some hot green action.
There you go.
And then the people mocked the
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Well, he went to bed with She-Hulk and woke up with Jennifer, so he was a little confused.
Oh, damn.
I mean, like,
Broken pelvis.
yeah. He can take it. And he took it. And he did his walk of shame in his fucking Daredevil costume. People, look, my co-host definitely railed against that show when it was on. I said it was not nearly as bad as they were making it out to be. Was it a perfect show? No. Was it in the weird gap where they had no fucking clue what they were doing? I mean, like what they did with the Wong character, I thought was actually kind of funny.
No, but was it fun?
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Now, her twerking in the office with Megan Thee Stallion was dumb.
Yeah.
But she was basically being a superhero /
We have a family friend that actually provided horses for Megan Thee Stallion to ride into a club on.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Those poor horses.
That was a club in Houston. And
yeah, she's from here.
yeah, she hired our friend to provide a white horse, big giant white,
She likes riding big white things.
Yep. Big white giant horse, and she rode into a club on it. Hell, Dude Perfect hired her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They used to be in Texas. I don't know if they still are.
No, they're in Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay.
But yeah, she rolled down there and put one of the dudes on the horse and let it through, and
Sounds like a euphemism.
right.
She went down there, put a dude on the horse. It's like, did she? But no, okay. But yeah, so
Sorry.
no, you're fine.
Yeah. Squirrel.
But so we've had Daredevil pop up in both the Spider-Man movies and then in this show or in She-Hulk, and then we had Kingpin pop up in Hawkeye and in Echo. Echo sucks, so Echo can just go. That's fine. That was a terrible series. They should have never done it. The Hawkeye series was actually really good in my opinion, and the fact that they included Kingpin because it is taking place in New York, and technically the final Spider-Man movie would have been taking place roughly the same time as the Hawkeye series. So that's something. There should be a tie-in there somehow. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, you nodding off?
I thought he
trying
was.
to figure out if I could cough or not.
I was like, I couldn't tell if he was going to sneeze or not.
Yeah.
Sneeze or go to sleep.
He's got the same sinus issues we also have.
Yeah,
So.
I took some medicine for a game.
I took my allergy meds this morning, but I haven't been outside. Okay, so other than
pollen is prevalent.
yeah, so other than Daredevil, we've been watching. Well, Jessica's been watching Alone, and it's another series where they're way the fuck up in the Arctic Circle, and it's cold as shit, and it's a pretty tough fucking show at this point. Like this one dude, like on day 10, he was chopping wood, and a stick split off and jammed him straight in the fucking arm, and he pulled out the stick, and then it wouldn't heal, so he went like 10 more days of it not healing, squeezing pus out of it.
Was this reality?
This is real.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Alone is real compared to some of these other shows. And so he didn't realize he still had a 3/4 inch long fucking stick in his arm. So luckily he'd been taking care of it every day. But like he finally pulled that shit out. Like he finally worked it around to where he get it out of the hole, and he's like, boop.
That's a massive infection waiting to happen.
Dude, he was so fucking lucky. Like at this point they're
like septic blood poisoning.
Yeah. I mean the amount of pus he was squeezing out of it was crazy. And I assume he was washing it with something, but like he's keeping it bandaged and everything, but they're also in like it's winter. It's cold as balls. It just started snowing up there.
That probably helped with mitigating infection.
Probably. The biggest issue was other things. But like I like it when like the Alone Australia wasn't that good because it was so short and people basically bailed really fucking
Australia's tough.
They are. But the funny part is they put them not in the main outback, which, you'd be contending with fucking spiders and kangaroos and God knows what else. They put them in Tasmania where it's a lot more wild shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's resources in Tasmania.
Yes. And that's why a lot of those people survived. But that is kind of the luck of the draw with the show Alone, is that you might get stuck in a shitty spot and might have to move. And if you don't, you might be fucked. Mm-hmm. But if you're working in a place that's going to be below zero for half the time you're there, that's even worse.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about this particular season of Alone that's been great. But
I want to do Alone. That'd be fun.
We wouldn't watch it.
I wouldn't mind a 6-month break.
Not that long, but yeah. Because they're usually out there for about, I think the average is something like 70 days.
Yeah.
That's the average, because some of them are out there for like 30, some of them are out there for like 100. So
I'd be one of those boring people that you just keep building shit and improving. And
well, this one dude has a son who's got special needs, and it's a $500,000 prize for once, and he's like, that's life-changing money for us.
Well, that's the whole ADD thing. Boredom in someone with ADHD is literally painful.
Yeah.
So you do anything you can to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
So it's constant movement, it's constant activity, it's doing 14 different things at once.
Yeah. And considering your detachment from most things emotional, you'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
The two main reasons anybody falls out is either they get sick.
I miss my dog.
Yeah, they get sick. Yeah, you actually probably go because of your dogs. But like most people fall out because they miss their family. Like legit, the last woman who was still on the show quit because she wanted to go back to her husband, or they got engaged right before she left.
Well, that's the thing with people with my condition. We suffer from object permanence, where if you're not in our line of sight and we don't see you every day, we will forget about you.
We know.
And yeah.
That's why we do this show weekly. So you.
So I think that alone, I'd be able to check out and just focus on the.
You might not come back. It's like he built a whole ass cabin. He's like fucking started building a car from nothing.
He's riding a caribou.
I will say this one, they gave everybody fishing stuff. They gave them bow and arrows to hunt with.
All I need is one backpack with a handful of tools and some stuff.
But
I'm good.
This one, because it was supposed to be so rough, they gave them big game hunting equipment.
Nice. And
they have bears and moose and other things in the area. Unfortunately, nobody's been able to get a moose. One guy's encountered a bear directly. Had to, it was a problem. The other thing is,
would be a problem. It'd be dinner.
Yeah. No, the stupid thing that comes up is while they're allowed to hunt game, they're not allowed to accidentally kill game.
Really?
So certain things, like you can get a duck. It's like if you shoot a duck with an arrow, good to go. Dude accidentally caught a duck in his gill net. So he couldn't kill it like right while it's stuck in the net. He couldn't just bash its head in and I have a duck. It would be against the law.
Oh, that's so stupid. This is food.
Yeah, but that's not the game rules.
Oh.
That's the fucking legal rules. So the other thing is like they've got things that are called martins. They're like somewhere between a fox and a ferret.
Yeah.
They can't trap them. They can only hit them with their bows and arrows. And if you were to catch one in your hands, but you don't have your bow and arrow, you can't kill it with your knife or bludgeon it to death.
Really?
You can only kill it with a fucking bow and arrow. I was like, that's ridiculous.
Stab it with an arrow.
I was gonna say, what if it's present? You're just taking.
Yeah, that's no. I argued stab it with the arrow if it's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple people killed them. We thought they were off limits entirely. We misunderstood what they were told. But
oily.
But there's weird protective stuff in that area where they're up in Saskatchewan where they're at currently. So those are weird Canadian laws about hunting.
I don't know. So, if you're in a quote unquote survival scenario, that goes out the window. Yeah. At least in my opinion.
But the problem is you have to film everything you're doing. So if they catch it on film, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
They take your ass out. Like, not only that, you could be prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only part that sucks. But dude, they've like hooked them up. They got the fucking body cams. They got the fucking head mount cams. So they got two main good cameras.
Solar charging station, all that probably.
That and they bring them batteries.
Yeah.
They bring them a buttload of battery packs to keep going. So there's that. I mean, like, I like that show compared to that stupid Extracted show. Did you ever get around to watching it?
Okay. Better Naked and Alone or Naked
and Afraid is hilarious, though. That one's fun when they do it as, like, when they force two people who don't know each other to go out there together. I thought that was great.
Hi, that's a penis.
Yeah. But that Extracted show, I was telling you all about it. I watched another episode with her. She quit on it, thank God. But I watched an episode where they all had to go to gather a deer that was dead, randomly dead deer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, they killed the deer somewhere and they planted it. But your family had only a certain amount of time to map out a path to the deer based on location. That's the only directions you got. And if you drew the map poorly, you couldn't get there. So they're monitoring the people as they get there. And then I realized, wait a minute, how are they getting these fucking shots of them wandering through the woods? It's like, so they mentioned the 89 trail cams or whatever. All that's horseshit.
Yeah.
There's cameramen. And then I realized, wait a minute, that camera's moving with them. I was like, wait, how do they have multiple cameras on these people now?
So they were just given verbal instructions, right? Did they have a map? That compass?
It was map.
Dude, grid coordinates are easy. I love land nav. That was so much fun.
No. They were given a hand-drawn map by their family with no compass. And these are dipshits.
Yeah.
Like most people found the fucking thing and got there, but then they had to cut it up too. It was just a dead deer, and they all were given knives. So you had to attempt to butcher said deer meat without any clue of how to fucking do it.
Not hard.
Well, for people who've never done it at all, it was a little difficult. So a lot of people got there first, but then that's when I realized, oh, this is way faker than
This is all mine. I will fight you for it.
I mean, somebody could have done it. Nobody said you couldn't take all the meat.
Yeah.
But it was just, I realized how fake that show was. And I told Jessica, I was like, hold the fuck on. That's a cameraman following her through the fucking woods. They're not alone out there at all. It's like, this is all bullshit. I bet they're less than a mile from the fucking houses where their family is staying. Yeah. And then the manufactured.
That's like going up to the farm, you know?
Dude, no joke. It would be like basing everything in the woods behind your house.
Yeah.
And then the film crew just being in your house.
Or down in the bottom 40. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It was fucking horseshit. And then the manufactured drama with the families back
I
in base.
hate manufactured drama. That's why I had to put down American Chopper.
Yeah.
Because it was all manufactured drama.
It got so much
stupid.
worse. Yeah, it got so much worse.
Yeah, they're throwing a chair and they're yelling again. Big fucking surprise.
Yeah.
He's mad about something.
Yeah, that was a legit fight, though. That one was.
Yeah, once.
That was a legit fight. But either way, no, that show is garbage. Nobody should watch Extracted. That's fucking terrible. Watch Alone, though. It's on Netflix or on Hulu, depending.
I enjoyed Alone. There's one of the first Alone survivors I follow, a guy named channels Fowler's Makery and Mischief.
Okay.
And he's awesome. He does he did a Texas 30-day survival challenge.
Yeah.
He did 30-day survival challenges in Alaska, all over the place. And it's him with a backpack and a couple of, like in Texas, they brought those air rifles that shoot the 52 caliber slugs, and they could have taken down deer. They took turkey. They lived off of raccoons and possums and crawfish for the most part. And it was him for 30 days and his buddy just surviving. And neat channel. Check it out if you get a chance.
That's a cool one.
Yeah,
I like that.
He built a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Out of a giant pontoon boat. And took it onto a lake near himself and stayed out there for 3 or 4 days, just catching stuff and goofing off.
That sounds badass.
It was a lot of fun.
Dude, can we do that to your boat?
Yes.
Sure.
Can we turn your boat into a pirate boat?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It does suck that we didn't get to take the boat out this weekend like initially planned, but yeah, yesterday would have been bad for
Yeah,
it would have sucked so bad.
The wind and the chilly and everything.
Like 50 degrees, like a 30-mile-an-hour wind.
That does not make a very good,
that did
pleasant outing on the lake.
That did not.
I'm good for Saturday morning. Our schedules are so fucked up. You have the most flexible schedule of all of us.
I mean, my schedule is mostly flexible except on Saturday.
Mine's rigid. I mean, I have very little free time, very, very little time off.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to do one quick shout out, though, to a channel I've been watching. I forgot to mention it before, but I've watched like 7 of his videos this weekend. Alec Steele, a young British gentleman who is into forging and whatnot.
Okay.
So I loved Forged in Fire, even with all the manufactured shit, but just skill-based things. But this guy, I got into it because he was trying to learn to forge titanium.
Whoa.
And actually forge titanium to do a like molecular bond with steel.
If you do it wrong, you start a fire.
Titanium's not known for that. You're thinking about magnesium or some of the other things. But he also has picked up other crazy metals to see if you can forge them at all. Mm-hmm. Some of them are weird. But the patent for forging titanium is now open. So he's trying to recreate it based on actual science and everything else like that. So he did a 3-part series of trying to do basically a San Mai with some 1080 steel.
That's the flexible metal on the inside and the rigid metal on the outside sandwich?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So titanium, and then he was also doing multi-layers, trying to figure out what metals bond best as intermediate metals, like something softer that might help bond the 2 other things together. And it turned out, like, because he was even doing 2 different types of titanium together, because I didn't realize there were multiple versions of that. So really, really interesting stuff. And he's British, and it's interesting just because I like listening to him talk about it. But there was apparently at one point he just got so much into the work that he was just speeding through the process and not showing you enough. And so like people actually got him to slow down and show the process a lot.
Right.
More. I love people making things. So I still follow Adam Savage.
I watch a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, you and I are both makers in different ways. And then Chad, and as well as an artist and whatnot, you still have to do a lot of things with your hands for work. So yeah.
Like cutting and rubbing and spraying and
Well, shit, dude, you missed the podcast last week because you had a million fucking windows to do.
Yeah.
And he didn't give me credit for my dad joke.
no.
It was
Oh,
a good joke. It was a good joke.
How'd that go? You get it scored away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it done by
Finally finished
Thursday.
it up, yeah.
Yeah, because we went to Buffalo.
What time did you get home?
Well, I had to, because we had to go back like 3 times that week.
Whoa.
So yeah,
It was 100.
it was like 100 something windows. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Just doing tint or what?
No, the window perf where you print on it.
Ah,
Yeah, so it was a whole ass thing.
like you have over the front of the shop.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, because I thought we hit him up to see if we were doing Buffalo Wild Wings or not, and so he said, "I don't know. I got so many fucking windows to do, and you had to get in after school was out."
Yeah.
So
I was there Tuesday.
we
I
know.
was there on my own. It was nice.
Oh, hot ones.
Ah,
The hot ones Pringles coming back up on me. So did you watch anything? Do anything else extra
no, nothing extra.
since your trip?
I've been getting back into the swing of things, just working and working on my diet, getting used to the new medications. Lost 4 pounds. So that'll keep dropping
Straight in the toilet.
pretty much. Well, that and changing up the diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, cutting the carbs, cutting the sugars. That's been a huge part.
Until today.
And but figuring out
Hey, vodka's got nothing.
how to manage that hence why I poured one. But figuring out how to manage the new meds and the new diet together. It's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down, and some days I feel out fucking standing,
Yeah.
and other days I'm just feel like ass.
Crashed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but you'll get it figured out.
Yep, I will.
Yep. That's good. Chad, you got anything going on?
Well,
Been doing much?
I watched Reacher.
Yeah, sorry, you did
All the
mention
way.
you did mention
You watched,
Reacher.
I'm finished episode 3.
I went until I could not watch anymore.
Okay, so tell me about Reacher since I've never Reachered.
It's based off a book series called the Persuader.
Yes, thank you.
The Persuaders.
Okay.
And Reacher is essentially a prior service Army. He was an officer. He worked in an MP unit, and their job was to bring in AWOL individuals.
Okay.
And he retired in season 1 and proceeded to live a nomadic lifestyle. No home, packed super light.
Yeah.
Bounced here and there, worked when he could. Just he got his retirement check every month. And he wanted to see America and just do his own thing and be left alone. Well, that wasn't to be. But so you need to check it out. It's a damn good series.
And this is not directly connected to the Tom Cruise.
Not at
No,
all.
But
no,
that's the same
no.
character.
Yes.
Same character,
Still Jack
but
Reacher.
different demeanor.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in definitely different shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge son of a bitch. And-
I will say the unfortunate part is that he's a massive lefty.
but he is
It's the unfortunate
so
thing.
happy to be left alone that when he's not, it gets aggressive.
And apparently he somehow maintains that while also, I think, being vegan
No.
in the show. I mean, in reality.
In reality, yeah, but he shows him eating other things that aren't vegan.
I don't remember if it's vegan or something else. He's got something.
But the
going on.
first season's great. Second season, not as much. The third is shaping up to be really good.
I've heard
And
good
does it get better?
things.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Okay. Is it a whole season out or is it
Yeah.
going?
No.
No. It's weekly. But
Okay.
it's
I'm
Well, I know the
3
old
in.
ones
They've
are
got
out, yeah.
what, 7 or 8 out now?
yeah.
And that's an Amazon specific show? Okay.
Yeah, when Kate and
Worth
I were-
watching it. I had a blast watching it. It was fun.
I pinned the first episode. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know it's
Yeah,
like,
the first one I was like, oh, he's fucked.
Yeah. I was like, no, it's not him. So it would have
what was that Chris Pratt show? Do you remember that came out a couple of years ago where he
Parks and
was,
Recreation.
no. It was a
Guardians of the Galaxy.
it was a very Reacher type show where he was an operator previously and his wife
Yes.
he gets basically blamed for his wife's death.
Yes. I don't remember it, but it's
Something
good.
list. Not the blacklist.
Terminal list.
Terminal list. thank you.
Terminal List. Didn't you tell me about that?
It was a
Yeah.
great fucking show, and apparently season 2 is coming, but it's
Yeah.
just taking quite some time. Oh, did my package finally get delivered? Yay! Should have been waiting on forever. Where did that just come from?
Apparently, I pushed a button.
Yeah, I was like, where is that coming from?
I don't know.
Dude, you know, the other day I had a fucking YouTube short that wouldn't stop playing.
Don't you hate that?
YouTube was closed. I don't know how the hell it kept playing.
Yep.
And it wasn't on my phone. It was on my computer. I was like, the window is closed. How is it still playing? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so give me a rating on Reacher.
I'd give it a solid 7.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there's enough action and enough dialogue, enough story behind it to keep things moving.
You and your pouches. No. I've considered it.
I did get into the House of David.
Oh, what is that?
David and Goliath, and how David became.
Oh, yes. Okay. I heard about this. Is it good?
Yes, it's very good.
I heard it was going to be like the best current religious show.
But it's kind of spoilers.
Is it done by
he beats the Goliath? He beats the giant.
Yeah.
Well, it's about King David's life.
Yeah, it shows you how it begins and everything else like that, and how he actually got to be where he is.
I'd sooner see one on Solomon. That I think that'd be a much better story.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Sorry, my friend Leo tends to send me a lot of political stuff that he keeps track of things I don't usually do. Apparently, the stock market is tanking very, 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 very.
It's been doing that for a week.
Today alone, it dropped $1.75 trillion. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. Some people are speculating that Trump is purposely tanking the stock market right now, so basically they can refinance the debt after the fact.
Because I long before the election, I pulled out of all my stocks and everything because I had a feeling things were going to start going south, and I didn't.
I mean, I've still got my crypto stuff. I don't have any stocks, but that gets affected too. So this is something that was sent. I forget where it came from. So Trump wants to crash the stock market. The U.S. government has to refinance $7 trillion of debt in the next 6 months. There's no way Trump wants to refinance it at current 10-year yields. I mean, yeah, makes sense. That's why he's crashing the stock market, pumping the bond prices. Bond prices go up, yields will come down, and government will be able to refinance cheap. Not only that, the lower bond yields will also push the Fed to do rate cuts, which is bullish for risk on assets. So don't panic on short term. Look for longer picture. So
I'm hoping for rate cuts because we're trying to build a house.
They've got to drop these fucking interest rates. And I mean, if you basically have to tank
get me back to 2.8 or even 3, I'd go for it.
I'd fucking buy a house at under 3 right now. What is it at? Like I know somewhere up to like 14. It's fucking absurd.
We were lucky. Ours is like a 3.25.
You caught yours before
everything happened. Yeah.
Because we're looking at hopefully if the things settle. I mean, the bubble has to burst, but things have to resettle after the fact.
Yeah.
But it'll affect the car market too. That's the biggest thing. I mean, and AOC and Anna Paulina Luna were introducing a bill to limit the interest rates on credit cards so that they can stop fucking just endless.
29.88%.
Yeah, the 29%, like basically cap the fucking credit cards at maybe like 10% or something. And it said, well, that's going to destroy the credit cards effectively. It's like, well, yeah, people need to stop living on credit. Yeah. And live on money, or stop like my young self being endlessly in debt, never able to pay it off because I don't make enough money.
Well, see, I'm finally completely out of debt. I use a credit card for my online presence and my online purchases, but when I see it pop up on my online, I pay it off immediately.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not out of debt, but I've paid off my only outstanding credit card and then immediately put more shit on it for this trip and whatnot. So what is today? 2 days from now, I'm throwing another $350 at it. So,
well, I've got nothing, and I'm trying to build my credit back up because I am soon, hopefully in the next 6 months, going to be getting a new work rig.
Yeah, so I'm lucky I've got good credit. Actually, I just opened a new credit card to earn fucking miles. Yeah, so it's everything goes good. And maybe flying will be more things in the future, but I want to kind of pull off what Louis did. Use the United card to get a fuckload of miles and upgrades. The other thing, what I was hoping to do, because I found out today, not a single backpack I own is the right size to allow as carry-on.
Yeah.
Unless I'm
Do you need to borrow some luggage?
I don't need to borrow luggage. I have luggage.
Well, I have a roller and a backpack.
I have lots of luggage. The problem is none of it fits the economy size seating I'm in. So they limit your personal carry. Now, if you are a Premier member, you can have a much larger carry-on, which I would be covered under, but I'm not.
Mine's smaller.
Yes.
And it's a squared off, nice little backpack.
Well, the problem I have is this.
Oh, okay.
This needs to go with me. So therefore, I have to have some type of laptop bag because I don't want to have to check my fucking
Backpack
computer.
has a laptop case slot and all that.
It does.
You're welcome to borrow it if you want.
I know, but what I'm still saying is the size limit is even smaller than my supposed.
Oh damn!
So it's and it's only because I'm in the standard economy. If I was in economy plus, the size would be bigger. However, I opened the new credit card in hopes they'll allow me to take the larger credit card or larger bag, because it said if you are a whatever mileage plus member, or you're the main person on the card, you can technically upgrade your carry-ons.
There you go.
For free. So in theory,
See,
because
I don't fly, I just don't want to deal with it.
Same, but I don't have time to drive.
It's Alaskan road trip.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, I would rather drive there. I know the way. Plus there's all kinds of cool shit to see along that highway from here to fucking
But you just don't have the time.
But I don't have 2 days to drive there, because I didn't get this whole week off. I could have burned my entire option week and said, fuck it, but then I would have driven alone because Jessica can't afford to take off. Though, ironically, her boss took this week off, so it actually would have totally fucking worked out. That's what sucks. We couldn't plan that. That's what happened.
Now she's just doing busy work.
Yeah, doing a lot of busy work, not seeing any patients and stuff. But that pisses me off because ultimately we could have managed it, It would have cost more. Well, it would have balanced out. Renting the car balances out depending on the vehicle we get. Because I still had to rent a car up there, and I rented the smallest available fucking thing. Just drive my
little smart car. That'd be great.
Not a smart car. That's another one of the tiny little things. Hyundai,
if it was just me and I had to carry just a bag, I'd get a smart car just for the story.
I don't think you can even rent those, unfortunately. I'd get a Fiat, though.
Yep.
I'd get a fucking Fiat 500 any day, and I'd drive the fuck off of it, too.
Yeah.
But so that's how my week's going to be.
Well, have fun.
Yeah.
Be safe. Don't crash.
The car.
Yeah, you have no control over the plane.
Yeah.
No upside down.
The other thing is one of the upgrades I could possibly get is Wi-Fi too. So, on the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, United's one of the only ones who apparently doesn't just have Wi-Fi for everybody.
Podcast it, watch a movie, take a nap.
It's only like a 3.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
So what I was hoping to do is rewatch Shoresy and, have a drink or two. But I also want to minimize any bathroom trips on the plane because it is a small plane to begin with.
And you're in the middle.
I'm near the wing. No, I picked a seat near the wing, but I'm not all the way in the back or anything.
Oh, you want to see the chemtrails?
Yeah. Oh, there's a fucking conspiracy theory. The fucking chemtrails making people sick. I'm almost inclined to believe some of it because there is weird shit getting into our food and water that makes no fucking sense. And these air quality warnings we never got when we were kids.
There's been almost a pandemic level of heavy metals. People testing with a lot of heavy metals in their system.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they are crop dusting everything as they fly over on purpose.
Yeah.
We're all allergic to jet fuel, apparently.
No. I sucked down way too much JP8 fumes.
Yeah. I guess that's probably true. Where are we at? 145. Okay. We still got a couple news stories to do.
What else we got?
Something I thought was very interesting that rolled across my Twitter feed this morning that I sent in. The South Carolina man executed by firing squad is the first U.S. prisoner killed that way in 15 years.
Fuck yeah.
I was unaware that you could choose your death because he didn't want to do lethal injection because he heard that basically the stuff makes you drown in your own blood. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to be electrocuted because he didn't want to be burned to death effectively from the inside out. So he's like, fuck it. I'll take the bullets.
Well, trial by combat. Let's go.
No.
How do you know that's effectively going to kill you?
Well, they only set for one target, apparently, according to this. So they bag you. So obviously you don't see anything coming. And they put a big white target over your heart.
And there's only one.
There's 4 people shooting at you.
And there's one live round.
Well, not one. No, there's multiple live rounds. One of them doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
As far as that. Well, I don't even know if that was a myth. Because realistically, these guys would have to volunteer to be on the firing squad.
Like Dale Gribble.
Yeah.
wanting to throw the electric chair, be involved in a execution.
Yeah. All right, so let me read this story here. This is reading from the AP News. I mean, they're not the greatest in the world, but they are still news. All right, so Columbia, South Carolina. Sorry, I forgot I was just on you guys there for a minute. So Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina man who killed his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat was executed by firing squad Friday, the first prisoner in 15 years to do so. Now, here's the thing, is he killed her parents, but then he was also planning on killing her, too. So, luckily, they got him before he got that far. I read that far into the story. 3 volunteer prison employees used rifles to carry out the execution. He was 67 years old. This is, what's his name? It had it right there. Oh, Brad Sigmund. All right, so Sigmund killed David and Gladys Lark in their Greenville County home in 2001 in a botched kidnapping plot. So he's going to kidnap and kill her and himself. So that's weird. I don't know why you go that far. Strange. So I guess it was supposed to be a murder-suicide that didn't get to that level. It's like, well, I got the murder part down. Fucked up the rest. All right. Said he chose the firing squad because the electric chair would cook him alive, quote unquote, and then he feared that lethal injection of pentobarbital into his veins would send a rush of fluid and blood into his lungs and drown him. Yes, that definitely sounds terrible. And then let's see here. The lethal injection method is actually still kept secret. So, you know, wherever he got that information, that's just
about to say, man, the morphine overdose would have been way better.
Maybe. I mean, regardless. I mean, unless they're going to do it the way they put down pets, you know, where the first injection basically just checks you the fuck out and then the next one just kills you instantly. I mean, maybe. All right, so on Friday, Sigmund wore a black jumpsuit with a hood over his head and a white target with a red bullseye over his chest. I don't know why they need to bother with the red bullseye, but, well, you know, it is what it is.
What, no cigarette, as the old trope goes?
I mean, we don't know what his last meal was. Maybe it'll be in here. Okay. The armed prison employee stood 15 feet from where he sat in the death chamber, same distance as the backboard it is to free throw line. I mean, I don't know why they bother giving us that reference.
Some people might not.
How many people know how far the fucking free throw line is?
They had
now we know that a free throw line is a firing squad away.
That's not even very far either.
I thought it was 9 feet.
That's an easy shot.
Yeah,
I know, but they don't want you to miss. You're also shooting.
Make it fun at 100 yards.
You're also in a building, by the way. All right. So the funny part is, it's in the same room that has the electric chair. So, I mean, it's just their execution room.
That'd be loud.
Let's see. Volunteers all fired at the same time through openings in the wall. They were not visible to about a dozen witnesses in the room, separated from the chamber by bulletproof glass. Several heavy breaths during the 2 minutes he elapsed from the time he was shot. Oh, I'm sorry. From the 2 minutes from the time they put the hood over his face to the time he was shot was 2 minutes. So you imagine just being in total darkness waiting to be shot and you don't know how long. That's actually kind of terrifying. You're just like, I know I'm going to be shot any minute now. And you're just sitting there
waiting. When's it coming? I mean, no countdown.
I mean, if they gave a countdown, maybe, but it doesn't say that.
2 1/4.
Let's see here. Okay, so this is where they're just overwriting things. The shots, which sounded like they were fired at the same time, made a loud, jarring bang that caused the witnesses to flinch. His arms briefly tensed when he was shot. The target was blasted off of his chest. He appeared to give another breath or two with a red stain on his chest, and small amounts of tissue could be seen from the wound during those breaths. Like me and fucking, little skin popping out. That's kind of gross. All right. Doctor came in about a minute later and said that he was dead.
Yep, he dead.
He done dead. Doesn't say anything about them having a blind bullet or not. I mean, I would just honestly just give everybody a bullet. Who cares? It's like that way you all know you did it. Instead of having like one scapegoat who doesn't know. It's like, fuck it. We volunteered to be here. That's what we're doing. Okay. Firing squad is an execution method with a long, violent history in the U.S. around the world. Death in a hail of bullets was used to punish mutinees and deserters in the Army. And it's frontier justice in the American Old West as a tool of terror and political repression in the Soviet Union. Yeah, Nazi Germany. Yeah, there was a lot of...
Also used to execute prisoners during the Mexican-American War.
And in Korea and... any place where there was a lot of dictatory type stuff happening, they usually put people up against the wall. Yeah, but that's different. There's firing squads where you're using it as a terror tactic, and then there's this, which is, well, we're not technically. If you wanted it as a terror tactic, film it and put it on TV. Mm-hmm. You remember when we used to actually televise executions back in the day? Mm-hmm. There was a lot less need for them in that era. It's like I think that we lost something by putting all these things behind bars or behind blank screens. Like nobody knows. Like the last person who was electrocuted up in Huntsville was what, like 10 years ago or something like that, where they actually got to bring out Old Sparky.
We actually, it was a cop killer.
Yeah,
I was riding.
That was a big deal. Yeah,
I was riding with the Reguladoras, and we rolled up and stood in support of it. The whole club sat there and waited through the execution and everything. Then went down the road, had burgers.
Oh wow, I did not know this. Since 1977, only 3 other prisoners in the U.S. have been executed by firing squad. That's crazy. All were in Utah. Wow, what's going on in Utah? They got to shoot people so much. Is it a Mormon thing?
Oh,
that's a legit question.
Maybe they're just more fun.
Bullets are bigger. Can we use some of Kentucky ballistics fucking weapons so I don't have
480 lot or
fuck that 700
4 bore.
You only need the one. Use 1 4-bore. It's over. Punt gun.
They'll die by the punt. Death by punt gun. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. It's gonna leave a football-sized hole in
The
you.
goose shot, please.
No, they're using a 1-pound lead shot.
God,
it's just gonna be a football-sized hole in you. Yeah, no, it's fucking 700 nitro.
That might look that miss.
No, let's go double barrel 700 nitro. At least make it expensive.
Right.
That shit's $100 a round. It's like I'm sticking it to the taxpayers on my way out.
And I'm bitching at $3 a round for my deer rifle.
Yep, pretty much. Guess there was some execution protesters. I mean, that happens, you know. All life is
that
precious.
what those French ladies were mad at?
They were mad at that. It's like, I mean, you got to be mad enough to show your titties. You know, it is what it is.
That's real mad.
Let's see here. What? Sorry, I started one thing up here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not bothering with the rest of the story. Either way, basically, dude killed some people. He chose to go out this way. I mean, if it came down to it, of the 3 choices, which way would you go? Or let's throw in hanging also. So we'll go 4 choices. Hanging, injection, electrocution, firing squad. What would you guys choose?
Firing squad.
Chad?
I guess if the firing squad's going to be quick, it'd be like that, yeah.
You got to hope it's quick.
Yeah.
You could quote Blazing Saddles. Loosen the noose and let me go.
I might go with electrocution. Because
Really?
with the numbness and tingling I've got right now, it might be interesting to feel it all at once.
I don't know, Jeff. Have you seen The Green Mile?
I have, but that was a botched, you know, as long as they're not some fucking dickhead forgetting to wet the sponge. If there's a Percy involved, I'm not going through it.
I listened to the Green Mile, the whole book. Yeah, you know that came out as a
that Stephen King book you listened to.
That came out as a serial in series, and
I know what serials mean.
But they it was so weird. It was so different from the movie. Way different. I think it was better.
Yeah. I feel like Green Mile is actually just where Forrest Gump ended up.
Oh, wow. Don't do that.
It happens.
I did not mean to turn that as much as I turned it. I meant to turn it a little. I turned it a lot. Either way.
Yeah. And on that note.
No. On that note, we have another fucking last news story that came up that I thought was interesting today. Because we talked about what happened at Colony Ridge last week. So with the you weren't here. So we talked about the Colony Ridge arrests. Like
120
of them arrested for different types of illegalities. You know, most of them are criminals already to begin with. Some of them were just straight up
ought not been here.
Yeah. But to make things even more interesting in the Trump administration, they decided to take the CBP1 app, which is what they were using to get here in the first place, which is not what this app was meant for, and they repurposed it to encourage people to self-deport instead. I will play a video. I'll bring it up over here. And this time I'm going to remember to leave the audio in place.
I can't see.
You don't really need to see it, but
damn it. Okay.
not much to
Shut
see,
up, sit down.
So this is over on Fox News.
Sorry.
Summer's here and it's another scorcher.
After this ad.
Remember? Hot, sticky, and unbearable.
After this stupid
That was
ad.
the name of my last date.
Hot and sticky.
Hot, sticky, and unbearable.
That was a cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, hot, sticky, and unbearable was the last day and a half of your cruise.
For real. Montezuma's Revenge, man.
Oh, you got to see what I named the episode.
Oh, God.
I'll show you after this ad. After this American Standard air conditioning ad ends.
Well, breaking right now, the Trump DHS is launching a new self-deportation app for illegal immigrants, giving those in the U.S. illegally an incentive to cooperate. And Bill Belusion is live in L.A. with more. Hi, Bill.
And Dana, good morning to you. So this is pretty remarkable. The Trump administration has taken that controversial CBP-1 cell phone app for migrants that the Biden administration was using, and they've repurposed it into a self-deportation app that is officially launching today. And we're getting an exclusive first look at it. Take a look. The app is now called CBP Home. It allows illegal aliens in the U.S. to register to self-deport. They fill out biographical information, including their countries of citizenship, which country they plan to return to, their alien registration numbers, their contact information, and it allows them to upload photos of themselves to confirm their identity. All of it is then submitted to CBP, and they leave the country. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would an illegal immigrant want to self-deport? Well, DHS says if they leave now, they will have the opportunity to return to the U.S. legally in the future and chase the American dream. But if they don't leave, they will be found, arrested, detained, and deported with a permanent ban on entry into the United States. In a statement to Fox News, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in part, quote, the Biden administration exploited the CBP-1 app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. With the launching of the CBP Home app, we are restoring integrity to our immigration system. If they don't self-deport, we will find them, deport them, and they will never return. The Biden administration's use of the CBP-1 app allowed more than 40,000 migrants to come into the U.S. at a port of entry every single month. That totaled nearly 1 million migrants by the end of his presidency.
By the way, that's only the ones using the app. Yeah. That's only over 1 million, just only on this app. That has nothing to do with the rest of them that came in. Yeah.
President Trump terminated that app immediately upon taking office, leading to scenes like this, showing migrants dismayed at the border on the day of his inauguration as they learned their CBP-1 appointments were canceled and were never coming back. And DHS tells me that any migrants who had that CBP-1 app on their phone will see it automatically update to this new self-deportation app starting today. And DHS can also use the data from the prior CBP-1 registrations to track migrants for removal. So in a nutshell, Dana, Trump just took Biden's program, which was bringing migrants in, and has now totally repurposed it to get them out. We'll send it back to you.
And I started hearing some radio ads that were mirroring some of the ads from the new secretary on cable. Now they're now on radio, and they're going to be in those countries as well, and targeting them so that they know not to come or to go ahead and get themselves out of the country. Thank you, Bill.
Yep. But I mean, look at it this way, and I think I said it when last time we talked about the deportations, is that, you know, if you're here illegally, give them means by which to make it as legal as possible, even if they got to go.
Yeah.
So, you know, here's your paperwork. Do you want it? No, I want to keep living here illegally. Well, then you're going and you're never coming back. Or in this case, it's, hey, self-report, get the fuck out, and then you can come back later legally. Cool. If you don't, and we catch your ass.
Yeah, it's not a blanket no.
Yeah, it sucks to suck.
Hey, let's do this the right way.
Yeah. And it's like, and literally it comes down to, well, it sucks to suck. We'll give you a free ride home.
Pretty much.
But get the fuck out.
If you have the integrity to self-report.
Yeah.
You might have the integrity to come back and make it, you know, through and become a citizen legally.
Yeah. Hopefully. But I mean, and I'm like I said, my parents came, or my mom at least came here as an immigrant. You know, they had to go through the whole fucking process. I forget how long ultimately it took. I think it took something like, I could be wrong, I think it took like 11 years ultimately for all of them. You know, because some of her siblings were born before coming here from Europe.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them were born here.
How long did it take Chewy?
He's in his last little bit to be.
He's still working on the process.
Okay.
And I think you've mentioned before that he like a lot of other people who've gone through the process really feel a way about these people just coming here 100% illegally. Yeah. You know, if you come here on a visa and you want to stay and you do everything right and it takes you fucking 6 years to fucking get it done, cool, but you're still doing it the right way.
Yeah.
But if you come here and you stay here for 25 fucking years completely illegally and make zero effort to ever change it, and then we catch your ass and deport you, I kind of don't have that much sympathy for you.
Don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised. I mean, that was a big thing this weekend. Was this one guy who said, I've been here for 20 years. I married an American woman, all this other stuff. I was like, well, clearly you didn't even go through the paperwork to make yourself legal by marrying her. I was like, so, it's like, I mean,
so who's fucking up here?
Him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, dude, it's like, how did you live here 25 fucking years and made no effort? Is it because you knew you couldn't for whatever reason? You know, were you a felon in wherever you came from? Or were you just never going to bother? Because, you know, for the most part, they're not allowed to have bank accounts and stuff like that. If you're here 100% illegally, you got to do everything under the table. You know, you have to skirt around most laws just to keep your ass from getting caught by the cops and being deported. You know, I mean, there's a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways where they lie. They get fake IDs, like my old neighbors. I've mentioned it here on the show before. Nobody in that apartment was legally allowed in that apartment because there was a single person on the lease, and that guy got the lease with a fake ID. He was, in fact, a felon from Mexico, and I got a fake American ID. So he got a lease under false pretenses and then had a full family living with him, none of them on the lease. So, you know, that's a very unfortunate circumstance, but, you know, you've already started down a shitty fucking path. You know, someday it's going to catch up to you, and it's unfortunate. But the fact that we've come to a point where everything could have been done far slower and simpler, but no. Now we have 15 million plus illegals here and different kinds of standing, criminals right and left, terrorists, and we've got Canada and Mexico. Mexico less, but Canada really pissed off at us for some fucking reason. Just because we want to make them the 51st state. You know, some reason that's a terrible thing. Trudeau's gone. I don't know if you saw this.
Good.
Trudeau's finally gone. Except they decided to replace him with an even shittier liberal. That was me. I don't know if it was you, but it was definitely me. People today, you can tell when people are on break at work because they start sending memes. Shout out to my patrons who message me usually throughout the day. But yeah, so this whole immigration thing, man. I mean, that combined with the changes we're trying to do with cutting spending in the government, which is working pretty fucking well so far. We'll see what happens. But here's the other thing. Remember all the commentary? Who's going to pick our fruit? Who's going to wash our dishes? Well, ex-federal employees, apparently. All those bureaucrats who now need jobs. And apparently the housing market is opening up in Washington, D.C. right now. So, you know, everybody's fleeing from D.C. because they no longer have a job. To sustain it. So, what was the other thing? Last thing they discovered. Act Blue is now being defunded effectively, if you know what that is. That's the Democrats' money laundering scheme. So that's where they take their donations to fund Democrats running everywhere across the country is Act Blue. Apparently, since all the shit went down with USAID, somewhere along that way, Act Blue also kind of ran out of funding. Weird. So they tried to claim that I saw Bernie Sanders had a rally somewhere up in the Northeast this past weekend, basically saying,
God, he's still around.
Bernie Sanders is still
looking like the Crypt Keeper. Shit.
Yeah, he's still going at like 90 years old. But he's out there claiming, literally, I saw the video. He's like, Elon Musk is breaking election rules, or he's rigging elections. And it's like, because he discovered that you guys were funding your elections through tax, U.S. tax dollars illegally, and you're in that particular foundation or whatever it technically is, organization is now gone. So now you're saying we're election interfering? Because you guys were pulling money illegally and we caught you? It's like, Jesus Christ. But that's okay. Throw stuff at anybody with a fucking Cybertruck, I guess. That's not a call to action. That's what people are doing. It's like assaulting Tesla owners for owning a Tesla and thinking it's somehow getting back at Musk.
Yep.
This is how deranged these people now are.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention.
Dude, that's all I saw earlier today was just like all this anti-Musk stuff. I think part of the ladies in Paris is against Trump and Musk somehow.
Of course, because they have, a lot to do with, America.
No fucking clue. I love foreign countries.
They're just mad.
Foreign countries mad at us.
Ooh, let's be mad at this now.
Yeah, they got France has their own.
Get the paint. Take your shirts off.
Dude, I seriously have no clue what the fuck they were technically trying to protest, but I think they were failing other than getting attention because boobs.
Like I said, good parade.
They were marching, but unfortunately they were moving their arms in a very specific manner.
Yep.
They were really, really trying.
They were waving at the crowd.
Unfortunately, nobody was listening to anything they said.
Ooh, boobies.
Like, what was that again?
What was this? What were they doing? All I saw was 50 chicks just out there walking around with their tits out.
Jump.
I mean, good for them, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I still haven't figured that one out. I'll figure it out later.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, so you gave yourself homework last episode, but I'm sure you forgot about it entirely.
Oh no, the book.
What? Oh no, that I forgot about that. Did you actually get to do that?
I'll be ordering that tonight.
Okay, I didn't know if you were audio.
Over the next week, I'm going to read the book and I'll start researching the hell out of it.
Okay, so tell us real quick before we go, what is this situation? Because you brought it to us.
I believe her name was Nora Vaughn. Let me double check that. Double checking still.
Is the snot getting the best of you over there, Chad? You mucus.
Nora Vincent. Nora Vincent was a feminist author. She basically went undercover, disguised herself as a man for 18 months because she thought in her mind that living as a man was much easier in America than living as a woman.
Well, men clearly have it easier.
Of course. But she makeup, applying 5 o'clock shadow, stubble, lived as a man, got a job working as a man, bowling league, made friends, went on dates with both sexes, and essentially spent 18 months living life as a man.
So those dates didn't get very far.
And the long and short, she found in a lot of ways that living as a man was so much harder than living as a woman in America. And I think a year and a half or 2 years after she wrote that book, she wound up committing suicide. So I am going to go deep dive a la the Fat Electrician.
Okay.
And here in 3 or 4 weeks, I'll present everything. I'll lay into it. We'll really get into it.
Okay. Because I think I had heard about this, but I didn't know if it was her or somebody else did it. But literally, when the story came out there, she said, "Man, living as a dude is way harder than I thought." Everybody just went, "Yeah, we know." It's like, isn't that crazy? It's like, it's almost like we told you as men, but life is hard.
I'll come back with notes and actually lay it out. I'll
give us a book report.
I'll give 15, 20 minute book report.
Stand in front of the class, hold your paper up.
Hard.
So I expect 600 words.
You'll probably get a lot more than that.
Yeah. Keep it succinct. Top 5 reasons that she hated being a man.
There you go.
Well, first of all, I applaud the woman for trying to live life as a man.
Yes, it was a very unique and new perspective because that we haven't heard from the feminist party.
Well, the funny part is it's just a feminist doing it, not a trans person doing it.
Because, men's minds, men are like ducks on a pond half the time. They may look calm on the surface and not a lot going on, but underneath it's just a churning 100 miles an hour, constant worry, movement, stress. I mean, it never stops.
Yeah.
And we're not good at discussing our feelings. We're not good at talking about it. We're not good about expressing how we're feeling, and it all compounds.
So does that mean that she, at some point, she would have had to have repressed feelings and not actually express herself to her fellow men?
Possibly. I'll let you know. Also,
I want to see the makeup because it must have been really good for people to go, "Yeah, dude, what's up?"
Trust me, I'll find it. I'll send pictures.
I want to see this.
I'll get stuff scored away.
Research, or maybe just find us one really good video about it.
But I want to tell the story.
I'll watch like 17 other people tell me about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And then you can come and tell us.
Oh,
because I literally remember when it first came out, when she quote unquote published her findings.
Yeah.
Living as a guy is hard. And they're like, It's like, why don't you guys ever talk about this? This is why we drink. You know that thing where we drink and punch the wall? That's what the problem.
Now, what homework are you talking about that I forgot?
No, because last week you were kind of off your rocker a little bit, but you said you would investigate the when Shoresy would have been between Letterkenny and Shoresy season 2.
I'll work on that this week too.
I'll just rewatch.
I need to
it.
take
It's fine.
breaks.
Yeah, actually,
then you investigate it. Damn it.
Well, I'll probably just rewatch Shoresy season 3 or 4 rather.
We'll watch
It's already
11, Letterkenny
4.
11 and 12, and then.
Well, I know where it happened, so I'll just figure it out. It's fine. I don't know. I got to figure out. I got so much going on this week, so I got to do all the editing for this week, which I've done most of already. I'm gonna pre-edit as much as I can.
Dude, you can download and watch all of Shoresy on the flight.
if I can download it. But I got to do all the editing we currently have going on. I'm going to try to stream Tuesday night because I'll have time and I won't be around to do Thursday or Friday. And then Wednesday I've got Patreon before I go, to make sure the patrons get theirs. So I got to do all that editing, try to get this episode done and edited before I go on the trip, just in case, because I don't know if we're going to manage the trip. I don't know if I'm going to manage to record anything while I'm up there. I'm going to do my best. And I don't want to use somebody else's equipment if I don't have to, That's why the whole backpack thing was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to have to check my fucking laptop if I don't have to, because my tiny backpack is not a problem, but it's not going to allow me to haul fucking anything.
Yeah.
I can have a larger carry-on, but I have to have the fucking premium thing for that shit. It's fucking United.
Well, check a bag. Roll.
Yeah, it's like $60 fucking check a bag.
What the fuck? I thought that was part of the flight.
There's like one free check, and then there's like everything after that, depending on weight. And even if I wanted to bring my entire mobile setup with me, it's too big.
Yeah.
62 inches is the maximum, which is still a really big fuck off. It can be 62 dimensions in any direction. I was like, I can check like a
62 by 62.
Yeah, like
that's big.
By 62, a fucking box, giant box. I was like, how the hell do I check that?
You can make that work,
but I don't think that fits my portable unit.
Yeah,
as it goes. So I'll figure it out. I got to figure all that out. I was like, man, do I try to find another fucking bag? And then no bag I was looking at fits that fucking size. Even the smallest proper laptop bag I have. It's 1 inch too big in one direction.
Okay.
I was like, motherfucker. I was like, this is a stupid fucking thing. If it's going on the floor by my feet, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not bothering anyone else. The one person sitting next to me, who unfortunately won't be Louis. I got to sit next to a fucking stranger in my 2-seat fucking thing. Either way, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Action-packed fucking episode today. And we do have a minor taste test video that will be coming out on the Patreon. That's where Chad got to experience something as part of the thing.
Poo gas.
Yeah, it's the poo gas. And of course, everybody make sure you give a big warm welcome to Louis as he got inducted into the Awkward Offenders last week. I did come up with a name for him, by the way.
Oh, what you got?
It's very simple. It's called the Transporter.
Really?
Yes.
You mailed that fucker in, didn't you?
No, I didn't, because it's layered. Because his official name is the Transporter. His street name by people is called the Red Shirt Killer.
Okay.
Otherwise known as Red Shirt. And we nicknamed him Scotty.
Yeah.
It's all a Star Trek reference. Because who killed more red shirts by teleportation than Scotty?
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's just the whole thing. I also thought maybe I'll just add to his powers that somehow he puts a red shirt on everybody he kills.
Well, I was thinking about that last night, and the 7.5 inches still cracked me up.
It's still stupid. He didn't want to say anything, but he really thought it was dumb.
He did?
Yeah.
Whatever. Made me laugh.
So he decided that the offset for one of the offsets for his powers was that wherever he teleports to, he's 7.5 inches off the ground. So he has a weird, awkward step.
Made me laugh.
But for some reason, he had that determined before we even rolled the dice.
It just hit
so
me.
like, no matter what, he's just like, this is what's going to be the offset. But I thought didn't I tell you about it at Buffalo Wild Wings?
I don't think you did.
Okay, so
yeah, whatever.
Either way, I'll tell you off camera. So either way, guys, do the like and subscribe thing, and make sure you go check out all the socials and all that other stuff. And if you want the full uncut video version of this podcast, go check out the SHOKY Patreon for as little as $5 a month. So with that, guys,